greatness.
Oh, is picked off. Jason Pierre-Paul, he's in the end zone. Touchdown USF. God, Jesse Hester, touchdown! USF wins. Picked off. Nate Allen in the end zone.
Today, these players are ready to take the field to create a legacy of their own.
We can win national championships here. I believe that.
And continue the proud tradition of Bulls football. IMG presents University of South Florida football. America's home for college sports brings you live play-by-play action of USF Bulls football. Brought to you by FiOS, the network ahead. CGM Services, comfort never felt so good. The Tampa Tribune, News Channel 8, and TVO.com. Sagicor Life Insurance Company, wise financial thinking for life. USF Federal Credit Union. Bulls are running from bank fees to USF Federal Credit Union. Follow the Stampede. Kane's Furniture, quality so good it's guaranteed for life. Fresh from Florida. Agricultural products grown right here at home by people you trust. USF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Coca-Cola Zero, real Coke taste and 0 calories. The Florida Fan Game. Think the Bulls are Florida's #1 fans? Prove it at Facebook.com/share a little sunshine. Under Armour, the official outfitters of USF football. From the Florida Lottery, $22 billion to education since 1988. Tampa General Hospital, trusted for our expertise, chosen for our care. And by Verizon, official wireless provider of the USF Bulls.
10, 5, touchdown, USF!
The season starts in South Bend, Indiana at Notre Dame Stadium. Inside the Papa John's press box, alongside Mark Robinson, here's the voice of the Bulls, Jim Loud.
Just had our anthem and our flyover here. Full house. Mark, you played here in 1981 with Penn State. Is this something special at Notre Dame, or is it, with all due respect, just another big house?
It is. It's something special, back in the time, so much history here. And it's hard to just turn the other cheek and not realize that. But again, you go back and coaches, I'm sure, it just says, hey, the field's the same size. It's another team over there. And that's the way you have to approach this football game.
Bulls will be wearing their green helmets for the first time, white jerseys, green pants. Notre Dame will be in the familiar gold helmets with blue jerseys. The band is leaving the field now, and the Notre Dame team is coming out. This is going to be loud. It'll be one of the top 5 crowds the Bulls have played in front of in their 15 years of football history. So we're anticipating a good one from South Bend, Indiana. One more timeout, then we're back to kick this thing off. The Bulls and Notre Dame coming up on the USF IMG Sports Network. Public address announcer here at Notre Dame Stadium gave an advisory on the weather, saying there is some thunderstorm activity. It's about 100 miles to the west. So we're going to get started and see where the afternoon takes us. Down on the field, Mike, what are the Bulls doing along the sideline to try to cool things down?
Really not a lot, Jim. A lot of times you see the cool zones. They have 6 fans with the misters that are going on. But to be honest, as we talked about earlier today, when we landed yesterday really hot, it really has cooled off a lot on the field. And that might be even more so as the sun starts to go when the clouds start to move in.
Mark, we were told by Notre Dame's broadcaster Don Criqui that the Irish will be using frozen baseball caps. Take them right out of the freezer, put them on, and get cooled off. Never heard that before.
I haven't. You hear a lot of things. If it works, that's great for him.
Well, Skip Holtz has taken his left turn out of the tunnel and led the USF Bulls out onto the far sideline to a chorus of boos here from Notre Dame. And they were good-natured boos, though. The Notre Dame folks, from staff to fans and boosters, have been more than accommodating and more than friendly throughout this entire trip. And we'll see how they enjoy this opener for Notre Dame. This is a real high point for the Irish in recent years, Mark. They've had a pretty long dry spell here, but they're excited now with head coach Brian Kelly.
Well, they really are. You know, Brian Kelly brings a lot of energy here, and you know, and obviously a very successful tenure. And, you know, they finished strong last year. They're looking to build on that in this football game today.
Well, if the Bulls can pull off a victory here, they look forward to 3 consecutive home games in the month of September. They won't travel again until the end of the month when they have their Big East opener on a Thursday night at Pittsburgh. But what a huge month this is, Mark. 5 games in the month of September. 5 games in 26 days. 3 at home, 2 on the road. The conference opener included. We are going to know so much more about this team at the end of the month than we do now at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, it's going to hit quick in there, and it's going to require some young players to step up and really get up to speed and really make a positive impact on his football team, because this is a young football team. If they're able to do that, then we could have a fast start.
Bulls team captains out: Jarrell Young, Quentin Washington, Chaz Hine, and B.J. Daniels. Notre Dame has won the toss, and we'll see if they are going to take the football. They are. So Notre Dame will take the football first after winning the toss. So the Bulls will be kicking off to start this game, and one of the key guys to watch today for Notre Dame is wide receiver Theo Riddick. He caught 40 balls last year, but they've also gotten him more touches this year by putting him on the return teams, both punt and kickoff. They really struggled in that department last year, did Notre Dame. They think Riddick is going to change things for them this year.
They do. They really feel he's that dynamic playmaker on the field. Obviously, we talked about Floyd being a great player. However, when you talk about Riddick is the shifty, quick guy that they really trying to get the ball him into space where he can make plays.
Today's opening kickoff is brought to you by Grow Financial Federal Credit Union. Grow Financial will donate $10 to USF's Athletic Scholarship Fund for each yard the Bulls earn on kickoffs and punt returns this season. Grow Financial Federal Credit Union, more in return. The Bulls will go from our right to our left. And the deep backs for Notre Dame, Bennett Jackson and Theo Riddick. Marvin Kloss will kick off. He's changed his number from 99 to 27, and the 15th season is underway with a good kick by Kloss. It's going to move the Notre Dame return man 3 yards back, and he'll take a knee for a touchback. That was Riddick making the catch. And how about Marvin Kloss, the walk-on, kicking off in his first USF appearance and getting the touchback?
Yeah, I saw this guy in camp this summer. He was just booming the ball. I was like, man, this kid really strikes the football, and that's a clutch kick to kick off and get a nice foot on that one to get a touchback on the first play.
Dane Christ, 6'4", 235, is a senior, completed 59% of his passes last year. 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Notre Dame on the far hash mark on the 20-yard line with the first play from scrimmage of the brand new season. Christ in the shotgun. Short drop, he will throw, flares it out left side. It's caught by the running back Wood. He breaks a tackle or two and is into the open field and is out the gate, and the Bulls able to drag him down from behind past the 50-yard line. That'll go for 30-plus yards, and Notre Dame has the ball in USF territory after one play.
Well, really played well by the Bulls defense. They were able to turn this back inside, and the pursuit never got there. Good blocking downfield and a huge play for the Fighting Irish to get this game underway.
Gain of 31. They mark it on the 49-yard line of the Bulls, 1st and 10. Now Christ over center. 3 wide receivers. He'll hand it off to the running back, and this will go for virtually no gain. Wood left the game after that long run, and getting the carry was Jonas Gray. Gray is a senior out of Pontiac, Michigan, and he's going to get a yard to the 48. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and Patrick Hampton came from his right defensive end spot. He collapsed this play on the side and stopped it for a very short gain.
Now Wood is back in the offensive backfield. 2nd down and 9, and Christ a short drop, throws, and he's got a man wide open at the 40. Cutting it into the 30 is Floyd, and he's going to get all the way to the 21-yard line. Confusion defensively there for the Bulls, and Christ found a man behind the USF defense.
Yeah, and it was Floyd. You know, Quentin Washington was covering at the right corner spot, and he jumped the play, but he jumped it too soon, and Floyd continued his route, his slant route. Nice throw there by Dane to throw the ball, and that was a big play again.
All the way down to the 22-yard line of USF, 1st and 10. So Notre Dame moving the ball well on the Bulls on their first possession. We've played just over 1 minute. Again, Christ over center. Wood, the running back, gets the football, trying the left side. He's got the corner, and he's going to get down to about the 12 before Jarrell Young wraps him up. That'll be close to a 1st down, a gain of about 9.
And really this time Notre Dame's able to collapse their left side of the line and allowing a nice bounce outside. And when you get the bounce out there by Wood, Wood's able to do what he does best, get outside, make a big play.
2nd down and 1 on the Bulls' 12-yard line. 2 minutes in, no score, but Notre Dame having their way with the Bulls defense early in this game. 1 wide receiver left, 1 in a slot to the right. It's Wood again. He's got the 1st down. He'll get inside the 10 and move the pile to about the 6. Mike Linares with the tackle, but that'll set up a 1st and goal for the Irish.
Yeah, the Bulls got to figure out some way here to hold them to 3 points right now. I mean, they're obviously on their heels a little bit right now, and it's hot out there. They've just got to settle down, get back to the basics, and do their jobs individually.
They will mark it on the 7 where it will be 1st and goal. Floyd will go split wide to the right. And Riddick is out on that side as well. And Christ will hand off again. It's Wood, and he's got more good yardage down to about the 2. That'll be a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
And that was the area that we had talked about having a concern for the Bulls. Can Notre Dame run right at them and enforce their will? On that play, they were able to. They pick up a nice gain. Now it's 2nd and short inside the 5-yard line.
Just outside of the 2, 2nd down and goal. Bulls defense looking for a big play, or better yet, a takeaway here. They have been on their heels. Christ hands it off. Wood right side, breaks 1 tackle, is near the goal line, but does not appear to have gotten in. They'll mark it inside the 1-yard line, where it will be 3rd down.
Because a gain of a 1.5 yards.
Wood is going to come off to the sideline now, and he'll be replaced by Gray. Wood was a little shaken up after that. He rushed for 603 yards last year, an average of 5 per carry. So now Gray, the running back, on 3rd down and goal from inside the 1. They hand it off to Gray, tries the left side, and I think the Bulls stopped him. The ball comes out. It's picked up by USF. It's Kayvon Webster. He's going to run down the far sideline, and nobody is going to catch him. Kayvon Webster. That's 6 for the Bulls. USF leads Notre Dame.
Hi-ya. You gotta love it right there. What was it? Snyder talking about, Coach Snyder was talking about, you gotta get some turnovers in some key situations. Jarrell Young was able to strip this ball, and Kayvon Webster shows us the speed for the touchdown.
Well, they had him stopped, and then they pried the ball away, and Webster made a nice catch, picking it up on the dead run, and was never touched. 6-0 Bulls. And Mike Bonani to attempt the extra point, but we may have a review coming.
Yeah, he wasn't down. I don't know how they're going to review this, because it would have to be a whistle, because he was still up. You know, normally if you can't really go back and see if the whistle was blown. You know, the running back still was up in the air when this ball was stripped, and it was a great pickup there by Kayvon Webster. It looked like the 3rd baseman there scooping that ball up.
We're watching the replay here and trying to watch Gray's knees.
It's up.
And they are both up. This should stand.
That's touchdown.
Jarrell Young just ripped that ball out while Gray was being held around the waist by one of the Bulls.
And, you know, Gray has, you know, last year with all his rushing experience, never had a touchdown. And it was a wonder when that's a big play when Wood had to go out of the game. Gray enters the game and he fumbles.
And Kayvon Webster took it all the way back. We'll await the review. We've certainly been wrong before.
Ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
But we're right this time. So the Bulls lead Notre Dame, and Bonani will be on to attempt the extra point. We've played exactly 4 minutes. What a shocker, as Notre Dame was just roaring down the field against the Bulls defense, and USF takes it away. Here's the kick by Bonani. It is good, and the Bulls lead Notre Dame 7-0. 11 minutes remaining in the first quarter on the USF IMG Sports Network. Bulls defense comes up big, 7-0 USF. We are facing east in our broadcast booth, and to the west we are told the skies are getting interesting. Our sideline reports brought to you by Subway Restaurants. Build your better breakfast and take lunch to go. Mike, what can you see that we cannot see?
Well, obviously with the benefit of knowing the last few days that potentially rain was coming in, we saw those high clouds move across the stadium. You can see those. Those are the first clouds we've seen in 2 days. But behind you, very much darker skies and very much darker clouds. Don't know that it necessarily means it's rain, but it certainly is moving this direction.
7-0 USF. Marvin Kloss, who got a touchback on his first USF kick a moment ago, will try to do that again. Reddick is deep for Notre Dame, along with Bennett Jackson. Kayvon Webster with the return, Jarrell Young with the strip, and the Bulls defense comes up with a big play. Here's the kick from Kloss, end over end, not quite as deep this time. Reddick will take it on the goal line and come out on the near hash for the 15 to the 20, and he is belted down at about the 25.
Yeah, well, the tough part about this, Jim, is defense goes back on the field. You get a big play like that, you score, get a touchdown, and you got to come back in there. It'll be interesting to see if the Bulls use any of their reserves because it's such a hot day out on the field.
Well, they've got to show Notre Dame something defensively as well. Although they got the takeaway in the big play, they were marching down the field, was Notre Dame, until that play happened. Now they will start on their 25 with a 1st and 10. The starting running back, Sierre Wood, is back in the game. And he gets the football and he runs it up the middle to about the 32. That's going to be a gain of about 7. And it'll be 2nd down and 3.
And Quentin Washington, coming from his left cornerback spot, is able to collapse this play and make the tackle from the outside.
They'll mark it on the 31. We'll call it 6, 2nd down and 4. 10.5 minutes to go first quarter. The Bulls offense hasn't run a play, but it's USF 7, Notre Dame nothing. Christ in the shotgun this time. 2 wide receivers to the wide side on the left and 2 to the short side on the right. Hands it off. It's Wood, and he's going to get outside on the left side. Jarrell Young can't wrap him up, and he's going to get past the 40 for a 1st down. D.D. Lattimore on the tackle, but not before he got out near the Notre Dame 45-yard line.
Well, those are the plays normally you see the Bulls run with speed and are able to get people that are running lateral like that, like Wood was on that play. But this play, Wood's got good speed. He's able to get the edge again and pick up the 1st down.
1st and 10 Irish on the 45. Bulls have not stopped these guys yet. 9:58 remaining in the quarter. Draw play. This is Wood, and the Bulls are going to wrap him up this time behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a couple on the play.
Yeah, D.D. Lattimore does a nice job. This is just going to be a delayed draw play. They're going to handle it to Wood. D.D. stays at home, and he's able to scrape around and make the tackle in the backfield.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. They mark it on the 42 of Notre Dame. Bulls leading 7-0 on a long fumble return by Kayvon Webster, 90-plus yards. Christ in the shotgun. Hands it off again. It's Wood, and he's not going to get much. Alkino Watson making the play defensively at about the 45-yard line. That's going to set up a 3rd down and long. Mark, this Notre Dame team passed for more than 2 times the yardage they rushed last year. A little bit surprising play call there.
Yeah, it really was. And 2nd and long like that, trying to catch the Bulls off guard. The Bulls were able to stay at home and make the tackle. Now they're going to go to no backs in this situation. Everybody out wide and an obvious passing situation.
3 to the right, 2 to the left. 3rd and 9 on the Notre Dame 46-yard line. Christ in the shotgun. Looking to throw, has time, throws, it is caught, it's short of the 1st down. Near the 50-yard line, the tackle was made by Quentin Washington. The tight end Tyler Eifert made the catch, but the Bulls have forced a punt.
Yeah, and the Bulls went to a 3-man rush there, and that was a nice job. Luke Sager was in there putting pressure on Christ on the play. He has to throw this ball quicker than he wanted to, and now it's 4th down.
Ben Turk, Jr. out of Davie, Florida, is the punter. Terrence Mitchell deep, standing at the Bulls' 10-yard line. Good snap, kick is away, and he shanked it. It's going to be along the far sideline, and they are going to walk up the field to mark this one. That was an awful punt. Let's see where they're going to mark it here. The officials still walking up the far sideline. And the Bulls gaining yardage moment by moment here. They're going to stop at the 27. Mike, you didn't like that spot.
Jim, I'm standing right here at the 25-yard line, and it was to my right by about 6 or 7 yards. Bulls got a disadvantage of about 8 yards here. Should have been at least a 35.
USF will open on the 27-yard line, and finally we'll see the offense with 7:49 remaining in the 1st quarter. And Mark, a good job by the defense there to get the stop after really giving up a lot of yards on their first appearance.
Well, you know, pressure does that, you know, and when you're able to get up inside and make a play, those are the plays that are going to help you. And, you know, and that's what the Bulls have demonstrated. Now, right now, offensively, they've got to come out and be consistent, take care of the football, work their offense, be multiple offense, and move the ball a little bit.
Get in the game, Bulls fans. Each time you purchase a single $10 or more Florida Lotto ticket, you'll receive an entry voucher for a Bulls fan experience drawing. 5 drawings will be held, so get your $10 Florida Lotto ticket today. Contest ends November 30th, 2011. Visit FLAlottery.com for details. We actually have a little cloud cover, at least for a moment there, as the Bulls get set to break the huddle and come out into the offensive formation for the first time. And we'll see what the Bulls do running back wise. They've been a little cagey, Mark, about the starter, as they listed Darrell Scott and Demetris Murray as co-starters. But in the huddle along the sideline, it's 21 Murray who appears to be starting this game.
Well, and they both will play, you know, in a situation like this. Whoever goes in there first, it can be situational. Is it are you ahead? Do you want to run the football? Do you want to spread out and work your spread package? So it'll be interesting to see how they use these 2 guys and what their role will become on this football team.
What a big offensive series this is for USF, Mark. If the Bulls can put up some points, you can really make this crowd and maybe make Notre Dame start believing. Right now, they're probably saying, you know what, lucky play. Just got a big play, a big bounce. They got 6 out of it. If the Bulls come back with something here and make it a 2-score lead, that's when people start thinking a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I think I wouldn't be surprised they don't come out here with the read option play right now. Make the big guys up front have to find the football and hopefully let BJ get a few yards and move the chains.
Daniels in the shotgun, running back on his left side. He's going to hand it off, and Murray fights his way through and gets to about the 30-yard line. Good effort by Murray. He had contact right away and wound up fighting through and getting almost 4 yards as they mark it a little bit past the 30.
Well, you know, they're reading that defensive end, and, you know, BJ puts it in the stomach of Murray, and they hold it a long time in there. You know, those are times you get fumbles if Murray was able to pick up a short gain.
A.J. Love in motion. Here's Daniels keeping it right side, picks up a block from Love, picks up the 1st down, and scoots out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Daniels read his blocker well, and Love didn't disappoint him.
Yeah, a nice job of BJ being smart there. Instead of taking the hit, he gets the 1st down, steps out of bounds, so he's not going to take any unnecessary shots.
On the 1st down for the Bulls, it is at the 38-yard line. They go 5 wide receivers, 3 left and 2 right. Murray is one of the 3 split to the left. And Daniels going to keep it on a quarterback draw, going to run it up the middle and get past the 45 to about the 46-yard line, setting up a second down and short.
Yeah, real nice job of BJ reading that. They spread the defense out. They didn't leave a linebacker in the middle there. And, you know, the Bulls have got a powerful offensive line. They get a nice push, big gain on first down.
BJ lost his helmet, but able to retrieve it, and now brings the team to the line of scrimmage on a second down and 2 from the USF 46-yard line. 7-0 Bulls. 6.5 minutes remaining first quarter. Daniels in the shotgun, keeps it, throws it, caught. Sterling Griffin first down, and he's going to get to about the 41-yard line of Notre Dame. So Sterling Griffin makes his first catch in 2 seasons, and the Bulls move the sticks.
He had a great block by Evan Landy. Evan Landy, remember, he moved into tight end, so he's an interior receiver now. He's got a big body. He comes in, and he actually makes a good chop block on the outside, allowing Sterling Griffin to pick up the first down.
On the 41-yard line of Notre Dame, 1st and 10 USF. Daniels over center this time. Fakes the handoff, rolls up, a world of time, throws it long downfield for Griffin, overthrown in the end zone. Good coverage by Notre Dame's defensive back, Gary Gray. But, boy, BJ had a lot of time.
Well, he really did, and he does a nice job. You want to stretch the defense right here. Even though he didn't complete the pass, he threw the ball where only Sterling could get the ball, and if not, it was going to be an incomplete pass. It puts the Irish on their heels a little bit.
2nd down and 10 on the 41. 5 wide receivers. Daniels in the shotgun. Flares it out to Landy, running behind his blockers. He'll fight his way to the 35. Gets pushed out of bounds there. It'll be 3rd down and about 4.
Yeah, and right now, the Irish are experiencing a little bit of fatigue out there. They're not able to run to the outside out there. The Bulls have been using the field wisely, spread it outside, throwing the ball, running it inside.
No huddle for the Bulls. 3rd and 4. It's the pistol. Daniels is in the pistol with a running back behind him, and the running back is Darryl Scott. And Scott gets the ball, runs it up the middle, and is going to be close to the first down, but I don't think he got there. They're going to mark him at about the 32 when he needed to get to the 31. So now you got a decision. 49-yard field goal or 4th and 1.
Yes, a difficult situation. I wouldn't be surprised with Bonani to go out there and give a shot right now. And
Bonani is coming on. Mike, it looked like a full yard.
It is a full yard, Jim. It's an absolute full yard, and Bonani's come out. He's been very good in camp. Right now, in this half of the field, small raindrops, too.
Near hash mark. They'll put it down on the 39. Justin Brockhouse-Kahn is the holder. Bonani with a 49-yard field goal attempt that could put the Bulls up 10. Plenty of distance. And he drives it right through. Maikon Bonani from 49, and the Bulls are up 10 on the Irish. 4:45 remaining first quarter. USF 10, Notre Dame nothing on the USF IMG Sports Network. Great start for the Bulls. 10-0 USF. 4:45 remaining first quarter. We'll give you 10 for local stations to identify themselves on the USF IMG Sports Network.
When you hear Goliath bark, you know you're tuned to WELE Ormond Beach.
10-0 Bulls. What a clutch kick for Bonani. Marked 49 yards out, and he was right down the pipe with that one.
And, no nerves at all. I tell you, this kid is just, he has so much confidence. And that's when you're a kicker, if you've got confidence, that's half the battle right there. Bonani does a nice strike, and that's a good field goal.
So 10-0 USF. Marvin Kloss to kick off for the 3rd time this quarter. And the same 2 men deep for Notre Dame, Bennett Jackson and Theo Riddick. A Kayvon Webster fumble return for touchdown. A Maikon Bonani 49-yard field goal, rather. And that's where we stand. 10-0 USF. Here's the kickoff from Kloss. He scuffed this one a little bit. It's going to be a little shorter, taken at the 3-yard line. Up the center of the field, 15-20. This is Riddick breaking a tackle, 30, and then gets upended at about the 31-yard line by Terrence Mitchell.
And it's good to see Terrence Mitchell out there. You'd like to have him on the field. He's got great speed. He's able to recover and make the tackle out there just outside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to put it on the 33, so a pretty good yard line by Riddick. And Notre Dame will take over. They marched the ball down the field to the Bulls' 1-yard line and then turned it over their first time. They got stopped by the Bulls' defense the second time. And looks like we've got a timeout, so we'll take a break. 4:38 remaining first quarter. Bulls lead at 10-0 on the USF IMG Sports Network. Welcome back to the Papa John's Pizza Press Box. Howl of Scream 2011, only at Busch Gardens. It will leave you begging for mercy and screaming for more. Visit thedarksideofthegardens.com for details and discounts on advance tickets. 10-0 Bulls. We are late first quarter as the skies start to cloud up here. Notre Dame starting on their 33. Far hash mark. Handoff on the first play. It's Gray, and he's going to get a good gain of about 9 out to the 42-yard line. So Gray, who gave up the fumble that led to the Bulls score, gets a little redemption there with a 9-yard run on first down.
Yeah, and Gray is 5'10", 230 pounds. I mean, he's a big guy. Actually, Jarrell Young actually hits him, but Jarrell Young's coming out of the game. I don't know. That was a big hit right there, and ended up getting a rotation in there.
Second down and 1. Christ fakes the handoff, rolls out to the right, has time, throws it long downfield, and overthrew his man at the 30. He had a couple of guys in the same area, Riddick and Floyd. Riddick was the one closest to it, but neither one could make a play, and it's 3rd and 1.
And the Bulls do a nice job on this bootleg. He's going to bootleg out, and they do the 3-level route, have a deep route, an intermediate route, and a short route. And the intermediate route was closed, and it was a shot downfield by Chris. Nothing there.
So it's 3rd down and 1. They are making the announcement that the weather is getting a little bit closer. Mike Pepper can hear it better than we can, so we'll ask Mike to paraphrase after this play. 3rd and 1 for Notre Dame on their own 42-yard line. And a flag before the snap. They didn't get the play off in time.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
The referee's call presented by Verizon. Verizon watch over 75 live college games. Finally, a depth chart everyone can agree on. Mike, what's the quick weather update?
Really, Jim, it was just a quick little lightning update. They said be on the alert. If we have to give it to you, there might be a delay. So no definitive word on that.
So now 3rd down and 6 for Notre Dame as the ball is moved back 5 yards to their 37. Kristen, the shotgun, running back left side. Here comes the blitz. He gets rid of it in time. Overthrows Floyd, who then gets some punishment from Kayvon Webster, and it's 4th down.
And really not a real good job there by Chris of setting his feet there. He actually had Floyd. They did a double slant route, which pulls the inside defender in there. Wide open route to Floyd, throws it off balance. Good hit there by the Gist.
Second punt of the day. The first one by Ben Turk was a dreadful one. And maybe with that in mind, Terrence Mitchell not quite as deep this time. He's standing on the 25. It's 4th down. Here's the kick. Wobbler will stay in play, and Mitchell makes the catch on the 26, breaks the tackle, gets into the open field, 45-50, cuts it out right side, still on his feet. Notre Dame territory, and down at the Irish 40-yard line. The punter, Turk, got him, but not before Terrence Mitchell got the ball into Irish territory.
All right, T-Rex out there. Terrence Mitchell, you know, it's been a quiet summer for him, but we know the electricity of this young man, the speed he has. When he catches this football, he takes it north. He just says, hey, we're running upfield, and he breaks a couple tackles. Big kick return, Terrence Mitchell.
On the 40-yard line of Notre Dame, on the far hash mark, the Bulls take over, leading 10-0 here with 3:39 remaining in the first quarter. Daniels will be in the shotgun. He'll have a running back on either side. Murray to his left, Scott to his right. It's Lindsey Lamar, not Scott, and Lamar gets the ball, and he rolls to the left, makes a great move, loses a man, gets inside the 25, got a first down and a late flag that may be a face mask. Lindsey Lamar with his first carry went around left end, got a big gain. Let's see what the flag is.
That's what they're going to call too.
There's a flag down.
If that's that face mask penalty, the Bulls are going to be well inside the Irish 20.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 22. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
On Harrison Smith, the safety.
Yeah, that's a good call there. Lindsey does a nice job of accelerating, just like his fellow Hillsborough High, Terrence Mitchell. When he got the football, they take it upfield. They start making positive yardage and using that great speed.
Mitchell split wide right, along with Andreas Shields. Deontay Welch is to the left. First down, Bulls on the Notre Dame 11. Daniels wasn't expecting the snap. He gets it on a bounce, trying to keep in bounds. He goes out at the 24, but another flag, and this may be another face mask. And it may be on the same player for Notre Dame. It was a snap that BJ wasn't expecting. It popped up. He caught it on the rebound out of the air.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
What a break. Mike, was that Harrison Smith again?
Yes, it was, Jim. It was absolutely Harrison Smith. He came in there as BJ and Lamar were both holding on to it when he rolled out. Smith could start, he tried to bring him down and ended up just grabbing the face mask.
That would have been about a 13-yard loss for the Bulls. Instead, it's going to set up a first and goal inside the 6. Got to punch it in, Mark.
Yeah, and Darrell Scott's in the game, the big 240-pound running back.
Foot on the accelerator, baby. Daniels at the line of scrimmage over center on first and goal. Pitch left side, Scott, 5, 3, 2, and down there. It'll be second down and goal, a gain of about 4.
Well, a pretty good job by the Irish on the outside, because when this first ball was pitched, Evan Landy was out there with a nice block, and Darrell Scott had a good head of steam, but a good recovery by the Irish defense, and they stop him at about the 2-yard line.
Second down and goal at the 2. Now Scott, the only running back, extra tight ends, 2 wide receivers right. 2:30 remaining first quarter. Daniels over center, long snap count. Hands it off. Scott, he did not get in. He's going to be inside the 1. That exchange was not clean, and the Bulls probably fortunate they picked up a little bit of the yardage.
Yeah, and it's inside the 1. It looks like where they're going to be very close. A lot of the Bulls.
No huddle. The Bulls come to the line of scrimmage immediately. Third down and goal inside the 1. Daniels sneak, and I don't think he got in. I think it's fourth down. So now you've got a decision as well, chip shot field goal, or trying to get in the end zone.
Yeah, I think you go for it in a situation like this. You're on the road. You got a 10-point lead right now. It was a great surge up front by Notre Dame. Maybe even a time to get a timeout or something and think about it. But instead, Bonani's coming on the field.
Mike Pepper says it's about a half a yard, and the field goal unit is coming on. So the Bulls are setting up a field goal here, which would be like an extra point, middle of the field. Going to be about a 22-yard attempt for Bonani. Make it 17-yard attempt. Here's the kick. And he drives it through. So the Bulls are denied the end zone, but they score again, and it's 13-0 with a little over a minute remaining in the first quarter. We'll take a quick timeout on the USF IMG Sports Network. A trip into the Verizon Fios red zone for the Bulls. Fios, a network ahead, and it results in Maikon Bonani's field goal, a Republic Bank field goal. Republic Bank will donate $100 to the USF Student Athlete Scholarship Fund for every made field goal this season. Republic Bank, the only bank in Tampa recognized as one of the top 4 performing banks in the country by ABA's Banking Journal. Boy, what a change, Mark. You go back to that fumble. We were seconds away from 7-0 Notre Dame. Now it's 13-0 Bulls.
Yeah, that was a play of the game, really, in that situation there. Darrell Young strips the ball. Webster picks it up and takes it to the house. And, this is a different ball game, but both teams, you like them to settle down in this situation. The Bulls have, obviously, and have settled down. And, right now, Notre Dame, they're shocked right now. I think they expected definitely to be up in this game by this point, and they're down 13-0.
Marvin Kloss will kick off for the 4th time this quarter. 13-0 Bulls. Mike, you say the wind has changed a little bit. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's the kick. It's very short along the far sideline on the run. Making the catch at the 10 is Bennett, and he will be dumped at about the 32-yard line by the Bulls. Mike, what's the change in the direction of the wind?
Well, Jim, Bulls have been going from the south to the north throughout the first quarter, and of course that in front of those cold fronts in the Midwest, that's generally where the wind is. Perhaps that front has started to move through because it is no longer completely at the back of the Bulls. It might be switching up. Could be an advantage second quarter.
32-yard line will be the line of scrimmage for Notre Dame with 1:03 remaining in the first quarter. 2 field goals and a fumble return for touchdown for the Bulls. It's 13-0. Christ in the shotgun. Takes the handoff to Wood. Will throw near sideline. It is caught at the 40. And to about the 45-yard line is T.J. Jones, sophomore out of Gainesville, Georgia. He had 23 catches last year. That's his first of 2011.
Yeah, and a safe pass over here. Just a little curl route on the weak side. And they had plenty of time back there in the pocket for Chris. They throw it, get a first down.
On the 45-yard line of Notre Dame, 1st and 10. Chris in the shotgun once again. Will hand it off, and Wood has a little opening, and he's into the secondary, ridden down by Darrell Young at about the 37 of the Bulls. That's another first down.
Boy, the Bulls have really got to shut that down right now. They're getting too easy to the second level out there. The linebackers have got to scrape. They have to read those plays, scrape quickly, and cut down the angle of the runner, because the runner's getting through a big hole and got so much room to run.
On the 37-yard line of USF, 1st and 10, Notre Dame. 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Christ in the shotgun, running back left side, 3 wide receivers left. Appears to be audibleizing as he goes to the line of scrimmage. Now drops back once again and has the football, screens it out to Floyd, near side, and he's going to get a good gain to about the 26 of the Bulls. That'll be a first down.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the Bulls didn't come out of this. A hard count drew Quentin Washington, who was going to blitz from his corner spot in early. They checked the ball, and they adjusted it, and they threw outside to Floyd. He had an easy first down.
And that'll be the final play of the first quarter. So a successful first 15 minutes for the Bulls. We head to quarter number 2 in South Bend. USF 13, Notre Dame nothing on the USF IMG Sports Network.
Nothing USF over Notre Dame after 1 quarter of play in South Bend. Andrew Afric back here in the Verizon Fios Network studios. A few scores to update you on before we send you back to South Bend for the second quarter. One final to tell you about already. That was a close game all the way around. Auburn and Utah State. The Aggies had the lead going into the fourth quarter, but Auburn put up 2 late touchdowns, including one with 30 seconds to go to take the victory, 42-38, holding off Utah State in the opener for both squads. Games currently underway around the state of Florida. Number 6 Florida State, the 7-0 lead over Louisiana Monroe. E.J. Manuel has a touchdown pass to Burt Reed, providing the lone scoring of the game for the Seminoles. Number 10, Nebraska 10-0 over Chattanooga, and number 25, USC has a 6-0 lead over Minnesota. 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Speaking of second quarter, let's get out there for the second quarter between USF and Notre Dame. Here's Jim Lauk and Mark Robinson.
All right, Andrew, thank you. Bulls fans, when the Bulls go over 100 yards of total offense for the game, you win. Take any USF home game ticket stub to any Canes and Save on Furniture. Get a voucher for a free movie at a Tampa Bay Movie Co. location. Canes and Save on Furniture, quality so good, it is guaranteed for life. We begin the second 15 minutes, 13-0 Bulls. And Notre Dame with a first down on the USF 26-yard line. Now going from our right to our left. Christ under pressure, but gets it out to the tight end. It is caught, and this will be near first down yardage at about the 16-yard line. Mike Ragone making his first reception.
Yeah, and that was just a delay right there. Delay release route by Ragone, and they send the receivers deep on the play-action pass. He slips out in the flat. He's wide open. The Bulls have to come up and make a tackle.
Enough for 10 and the first down on the 16-yard line. Notre Dame on the far hash mark, 1st and 10 on the Bulls 16. Christ hands it off to Wood, and he will be met by Corey Grissom after a yard or two just inside the 15. Mike Linares there as well.
Yeah, the Bulls have got to tighten up right in here. When you get in red zone like that, you know, defense, the field shrinks out there, so your zones have to be tighter. In this situation, you want to try to keep them, because they're in field goal range already. Keep them for the attempt at a field goal to this point.
2nd down and 8 on the 14. In the shotgun, Christ running back on his left side, 2 wide receivers left. He's got the ball, hands it off to Wood. He's got the corner on the right side. Holding. 5. He's in the end zone, but a very clear holding call, and flags are down.
Yeah, that's going to come back definitely. At the point of attack there on Jarrell Young, he came up and
holding. Offense number 3. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Michael Floyd.
Yeah, Floyd did what we call a stalk block, where he's supposed to, try to block the defensive back downfield. Instead, he grabs the shoulder pads and spins around. Actually, it was Quentin Washington, spins him around outside. A definite hold. Is going to be penalized. No touchdown.
So that will negate the score for Notre Dame. The ball is going to come out to the 13-yard line. 13-0 USF. We're early second quarter. Sun still shining here, but some clouds rolling in as well on a very hot afternoon in South Bend. Christ with some confusion trying to get the play in, and he's got to hurry now in the shotgun. He gets the ball in time. Straight drop under pressure, gets away, and he's going to run it to the 5. Boy, Ryan Giddens had him wrapped up, and Christ got away and ran for about an 8-yard gain. That'll set up a 1st and goal.
Well, that was a smart play by the Hidsey quarterback, junior quarterback on the play. And, he's 6'4", 235 pounds, and, does a brilliant job to start scrambling. They aren't going to measure this one, though, Jim.
Yeah, didn't get a great spot. They put it on the 6-yard line, so that's going to make this pretty close here. And they'll bring the sticks in from the far side. 13:23 remaining in the half. And they are just a little bit short. Looks like less than a yard. So Notre Dame with the ball just outside of the USF 6-yard line. They're also having all sorts of scoreboard problems here. The scoreboard to our left has been only partially working most of the day. It is 3rd down. 3rd down and less than 1 just outside of the 6. Christ over center, hands it off. It's Wood, and he's got the 1st down inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark it on the 4, and that'll set up a 1st and goal.
Well, the Bulls defense are really digging in this spot right here, making it a hard opportunity for the Irish trying to get into the end zone. They've got to keep playing and fighting like they did last time. Remember, last time they got down here, they were able to strip the ball and recover and get a touchdown run by Webster on the play. So a play like that is what the Bulls need right now.
1st and goal on the 4. USF leading by 13 early second quarter. Christ hands it off. Wood trying the right side, and he's dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. Looked like McCaskill in there.
Yeah, and McCaskill had a slant on. He was slanting. He slanted right into the play, was able to get in the backfield and get a tackle for loss against Wood.
Sometimes stats can be deceiving. The Bulls were outgained by Notre Dame in the first quarter, 152 yards to 62. But it's the Bulls 13-0. 2nd and goal after a loss of 3. They'll place it on the 7-yard line. Chris will drop back in the shotgun. Wood, the running back, on his right side. He throws a slant pattern. It's knocked away, incomplete in the end zone. They were trying to get it to T.J. Jones, and Kayvon Webster broke it up.
Yeah, another big play there by Webster. Tight coverage. He's got a slant route. He's got him man-to-man, so he can't allow an inside release. The release came inside by T.J. Jones, but he was able to knock the ball down. Third down.
Third down and goal from the 7-yard line. Bulls trying to keep Notre Dame out of the end zone. Kristen, the shotgun, 2 wide receivers left. They're on the far hash mark. Chris, straight drop. Looking, lofts it into the end zone. Picked off, D.D. Lattimore. Bulls football. It'll be a touchback, and USF will have the ball on the 20. Boy, that was just a wounded duck in there, and D.D. just took it away.
Yeah, not a smart pass there. They doubled Floyd on the other side, and they had to go away from him. They were looking for Reddick down the middle, but Lattimore showing great speed and great awareness, catch the ball for the touchback.
Bulls football when we return. 13-0 USF, 12:06 remaining first half on the USF IMG Sports Network. Nothing USF. 2 turnovers by Notre Dame, both within the 10-yard line of the Bulls. A fumble that was recovered by USF and returned for a touchdown, and now an interception in the end zone, and the Bulls have the football and a 13-point lead with just over 12 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, turnovers are hard to overcome in any game, with whatever team you are, and the Irish are going to try to have to take care of the football a little bit better. The Bulls have really done their opportunity there. This hasn't given. Remember, it was a forced fumble. It was an interception. There was a great interception by D.D. Lattimore. So these were, I think you give the benefit of the Bulls because they were the ones that caused these turnovers.
So the Bulls will take over on the 20-yard line. They have not generated a ton of offense as USF, but they have been effective. Lindsey Lamar leads in rushing with 17, 15 for Daniels and 6 for Scott. Daniels 2 of 3 for 20 yards. Bulls ran 11 plays in the first quarter, gained 62 yards. Here's Daniels flaring it out left side. It's caught by Griffin, and he's going to get a first down right about the 31-yard line. Used his blockers well, got about 11.
And the Bulls are really trying to spread the Irish defense out a little bit because, they're really packing it inside, expecting some run inside the tackles. Instead, they're throwing outside, attacking the corners.
Darrell Scott is the running back. Joel Miller is in, split wide to the right on 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line of USF. Daniels hands it to Scott, trying the left side. Not much there, but he sure moved the pile forward. He got 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, really a nice job. Good forward lean there by Darrell Scott of getting the ball, putting both hands on the football. Remember, he's a transfer from Colorado. This kid comes in here looking for playing time, and he's getting it here in the first half.
He got 4 yards. Scott with 4 carries, 10 yards so far today. 2nd and 6 on the USF 35. Daniels. Scott left side. He's got a little room, breaks 1 tackle, and appears to have the first down out beyond the 40-yard line. He's out of bounds at the 42, and that should be enough.
And that's why the coaches are so excited about Darrell Scott. Not only is he a strong inside runner, he can bounce the ball outside, and he's got the feet, good enough feet to get outside and make the play off the bounce.
On the 41-yard line, 1st and 10 USF, 11:05 remaining first half. 5 wide receivers. Daniels alone in the backfield. Takes the snap, going to run it left side. Jukes out, gets a block, moves another block, and gets out to about the 49 before heading out of bounds. And that'll be a good first down gain, setting up 2nd and short.
Joe Miller, I tell you, he lays the wood right here. He catches the linebacker in pursuit, Dan Fox, and just levels him, allowing B.J. Dames to bounce outside for a big first down gain.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3 on the 49. Daniels, shotgun, running back left side, 4 wide receivers. Takes the snap, flares it out left side. It's incomplete. And that was a miscommunication between Joel Miller and Sterling Griffin. They were the only guys in the area, and they were battling each other for the ball.
Yeah, those are the plays you can't have mistakes on. That was a big play. That would have been an easy first down. You had a blocker and a receiver out there with the football. Instead, it's a 3rd and around 3.
Daniels 3 of 5 for 31 yards. 3rd and 3 on the Bulls 49. Daniels over center. Scott the running back. Handoff, Scott picks his way forward. Second effort, it'll be close. I don't know, it may be a little short. He got across the 50 into Notre Dame territory. He had to get to the 48. And I'm going to guess he's going to be less than a yard short. He almost got stopped at the 50. He really kept the legs going. And it's going to depend on the measurement.
It looks like they are going to measure, but we're right down the line right here, Jim. It looks like you said, it's going to be about a football short or so.
Unless he just gets the tip of the football, we'll see. Has to get to the 48 of Notre Dame. The clock stopped for the measurement at 10:21 remaining first half. Bulls leading 13-0. Here come the sticks.
It's definitely short a little bit.
Couple of inches. Mike, how close?
2 inches, Jim. 2 inches. Team right now lobbying to go out there. Skip's got a tough decision to make here.
Yeah, it's tough. You got to believe you can make 2 inches, Mark, but if you don't, you breathe life into a Notre Dame program that right now is probably raising some questions among themselves.
Yeah, it looks like the Bulls are going to go for a timeout in this situation and think about it.
Chris Bright, one of the fullbacks, comes out, and they've kept the offense on the field. They're acting like they're going for it. The ball is just outside of the 48. They must get to the Notre Dame 48. Bright is the up back just to the left. Scott, the tailback, will see if they hand it off or sneak it. They pitch left side. Scott gets around a man, gets the first down, and out of bounds at about the 46 of Notre Dame.
Well, they went to an unbalanced line, and the Irish actually saw what happened. You saw that Eatman went on. He's normally the right tackle. He lined up on the left side, and they run that way, and the Bulls are able to convert and get a first down.
So USF keeps the football, keeps that defense on the sideline for a while. The Bulls defense has been out for a lot of plays this first half. Now Demetrius Murray checks in. Scott, 7 carries, 21 yards. In the pistol. Daniels keeps, goes left side, picks up a block from Landy. He's got 10 and a first down. Ridden out of bounds inside the 40 of Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's a beautiful read by BJ. There's that read option again, and Murray actually, had some running room himself, but BJ elects to pull this thing back in and picks up the first down.
On the 35 of Notre Dame, 1st and 10. 5 wide receivers. Daniels alone in the shotgun, swings it out left side, caught by Landy, and he's going to fight his way forward. We'll see where they mark it. Looks like right on the 30-yard line. That'll be a gain of 5 along the far sideline.
And the Bulls are methodically going down there. It's a wonder that Notre Dame doesn't roll coverage into those short zones, because the Bulls are eating them up in the short zones on the pass play.
2nd down and 5. Bulls have not thrown the ball long downfield very often. Ball on the 30. Daniels pitch left side. It's Murray picking his way forward. He's only going to get about 1, though. To about the 29, it'll set up 3rd down.
Yeah, good penetration there, and by the Irish coming up there and coming down the line, and it was actually on the play. They make the tackle, but Murray picks up a short gain, and now they're in 3rd and long, Jim.
3rd and 4 on the 29. On the far hash mark, Daniels in the shotgun, running back on his right side. 3 wide receivers. Daniels with the football, and the whistles blow. Look like there may be movement on the left side of the Bulls line.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The first Bulls penalty of the afternoon on Mark Kopech, and that'll make it tougher. 3rd and 9. It also takes the Bulls 5 yards further back in the event of trying a field goal right now. It would be from 51. On the 34 of Notre Dame, 3rd and 9. 8:10 to go first half. Bulls lead 13-0. Daniels in the shotgun. Takes the snap, straight drop, under pressure. And he will be dumped at the 34-yard line, about the line of scrimmage. But that sets up a 4th and 9, and the Bulls would have a long field goal kick from here.
And really a nice job by BJ, not throwing into coverage, realizing the situation. Up 13 points, you're in field goal range. Just get as much as you can do and let your kicker see if he can make it.
Mike, it looked like Skip Holtz asked Bonani the question.
Yes, he did, Jim. He asked him, come over here, looked in his face, said, can you make it? Now he's going to get a chance to do so.
It will be from 52, middle of the field. Brockhouse Khan will put it down at the 42-yard line. A 52-yard attempt for Bonani. Low line drive will have the distance, but it's wide left. So Bonani is now 2 for 3, and the score remains 13-0. And Notre Dame will take over after the missed field goal. We've got a timeout. 7:18 remaining first half. Bulls 13, Notre Dame nothing on the USF IMG Sports Network. Welcome back to the Papa John's Pizza Press Box. 13-0 USF. Mark Micon Bonani had plenty of distance on that 52-yard attempt, pulled it wide left. It's the chance you take. It cost the Bulls probably about 15 yards because now after the miss, Notre Dame will start on their 35.
Yeah, but you got to take that shot right there. You know, Bonani's been, he's hit 2 already. He's kicking the ball very well. That one he struck well. He's just trying to put a little more oomph on it. The trajectory went a little lower, so you can tell he just pulled it. And now the Irish have the football. 181
yards of offense for Notre Dame, 112 for the Bulls. Daniels 4 of 6 for 36 yards. Christus 6 of 10 for 95 yards and an interception. Jonas Gray is the running back, and whistles blow before the snap. This may be the 5th penalty of the afternoon on the Irish. 5 penalties, 38 yards for Notre Dame. 1st and 15 from the 30. Notre Dame has been inside the Bulls 10 on 2 different occasions. They've turned it over both times. Handoff. This is Gray, right side. Good gain. He's going to get out to the 40. That's going to be a pickup of about 10. And it'll set up a 2nd down and 5 for the Irish.
Yeah, when you get in there on the defensive line, you can't jump around. You got to really attack it. At the point of attack right there, the Bulls are skating around the blocks, allowing running lanes, and the Notre Dame runners are doing a nice job finding them.
Yeah, the Bulls have given up almost 100 yards rushing already. Here's Chris to throw near side, broken up at about the 47-yard line. Michael Linares with some nice pass coverage on the tight end, Tyler Eifert.
Well, Michael Linares, they had always talked about he can play the run, but can he play the pass? Well, he played very well in the pass right there, going against the tight end and knocking the ball away.
3rd down and 5. Boy, they put that ball on the 39 mark. It ought to be on the 40. They just cost them a yard. I think they put it down on the wrong spot. So it's 3rd and 6, judging from where they put the ball. And here's Christ looking, throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Should have been caught at about the 45-yard line by Riddick. He might have been hearing some footsteps, though, and he didn't pull it in.
Yeah, Sam Barrington, number 36. Sam was coming after him, and now he lays the wood. Good, clean hit right there. But, you start intimidating the receivers when you come across. That's been the 3rd or 4th hit downfield that the Bulls have not gone for the football. They've actually played the man and made good, big hits.
Ben Turk to punt. Terrence Mitchell deep. Mitchell almost broke one last time. 6:45 left in the first half. Here's the kick from Turk, high and short. And that one is going to hit at the 30, take a Notre Dame roll to about the 23. Mitchell has to back away, and it will be down there. So not a great punt, but no return opportunity for the Bulls, and Notre Dame will take over, whether the Bulls will take over on their own 23-yard line. 6:34 remaining in the first half. Bulls 13, Notre Dame nothing on the USF IMG Sports Network. Bulls fans, let's boost Florida tourism and win the title of Florida's #1 fans. Just head to facebook.com/share-a-little-sunshine and invite everyone you know to visit Florida. 13-0 USF. 6:34 remaining in the first half. And after the Notre Dame punt, the Bulls will take over on their own 23-yard line. Some stats for the Bulls. B.J. Daniels, 4 of 6 for 36 yards. He is the leading rusher for USF. 6 carries, 33 yards. Darrell Scott, 7 carries for 21. Lindsey Lamar, 1 for 17. Demetrius Murray, 2 for 5. 2 catches for Sterling Griffin and 2 for Evan Landy. And the Bulls will take over here with 6.5 minutes to go in the first half. Darrell Scott will be the running back. He's on the left side. Fake to him. Daniels rolling to the right. Throws, and a diving catch by Evan Landy. Did he stay in? They say no. Did not get the feet down. Great effort at the 43-yard line on the near sideline. That's the Notre Dame sideline, but Evan couldn't quite corral that one.
Well, Notre Dame countered against the Bulls. The Bulls have been throwing that little hitch route outside in the flat the whole time. This time they leave the corner there, forcing BJ to throw the intermediate route, the corner route behind the cornerback, and obviously Landy wasn't able to hang on to it. 2nd down and 10 on the USF 43-yard line. USF leading 13-0. Daniels and Scott miss connections. The ball is fumbled, and B.J. falls on it at the 20-yard line. Well, Mark, you had mentioned that before about that late handoff, how it can be dangerous, and that time the ball went on the ground. Yeah, you ride it on the hip there, and the Bulls were very fortunate that there wasn't an Irish right there to jump on top of that one. Instead, now they're 3rd and long in this situation, backed up in their own territory.
On the 20-yard line, it's 3rd down and 13 for USF. 4 wide receivers, 1 running back. Irish threaten blitz. Here they come, and the ball is caught by Griffin. He leans forward, but I think he's going to be a little short. Needed to get to the 33 and has stopped at the 32. That should bring on the punt team for the first time today for USF.
What a great pass, what a great catch, and an excellent effort after the catch by Sterling Griffin. I mean, he does a nice job of extending his body. Yes, he comes up short, but he at least knew where he had to get to for the first down.
And he bought a little real estate. The Bulls with the ball at the 32 instead of the 20. So now the punt team, Justin Brockhouse-Kahn with his first kick of the year. Looks like Floyd is deep. High wobbling kick, a pretty good one. Floyd calls for the fair catch, juggles it, picked up by the Bulls. USF football at the 20-yard line of Notre Dame. Victor Mark with a recovery, and the Bulls are knocking on the door again.
Oh, my.
Flat out drop, Mark.
Yes, it was. I mean, this ball hits right in the number on the play, and, you know, such a situation, you know. It actually wasn't Floyd back there. It looked like it was number 6 on the play. They didn't. That was Riddick, and that's the kid they felt that is their open guy, the guy that can make a play. The Bulls get great field position. 1st and 10 on the Notre Dame 20. So the fumble by Riddick, and the Bulls with the 3rd major turnover by Notre Dame, and a chance to extend a 13-point lead here late in the first half. Evan Landy will line up in the slot on the right side, 2 wide receivers right. And Daniels over center on 1st down. Fakes the handoff, throws over the middle. Incomplete. It went off the hands of A.J. Love. Was deflected by an Irish defender. And the Bulls fortunate that ball found some green space and landed harmlessly. Very fortunate right there. You don't want those balls. You want those balls to go down in the dirt. Instead, this ball goes in the air, and it just careens off a few people there. Now the Bulls are set up in 2nd and 10.
On the 20-yard line of Notre Dame, 4:58 remaining in the half. Daniels in the pistol. 1 running back behind him. It's Miller. Wanted to swing it out to Miller. They had that defended. So now he rolls right, dumps it off to Murray. Murray makes the catch and gets to about the 18. Gain of about 2 on the play. Some nice improvisation, but the Bulls do face a 3rd and long.
Well, BJ bought some time. They had a double screen set up. They faked to the left. They managed to go to the right side. Notre Dame does a brilliant job out in there on the 2nd screen play, and they keep it to a short gain on 2nd down.
3rd down and 9, a gain of 1 on that play. The ball on the 19-yard line. Bulls need to get to the 10 for a 1st down. Daniels in the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the right. Notre Dame threatens blitz. They're coming. Daniels dumps it off to Miller. goes off his hands and was almost caught on the carom by Estenor, but it's incomplete, and the Bulls are going to have to try a field goal here on 4th and 9.
Yeah, an all-out blitz right there. Dangerous pass. This is that little slip screen they call. They love to get it to Joel Miller. He'll kind of do a short, dragging route. The lineman will release and run after the defensive backs. If you're able to catch it past the actual rush, it can be a big play, but very dangerous place to throw the football.
37-yard attempt from the near hash mark. Bonani is 2 of 3. He missed in this direction from 52 a few moments ago. Brockhouse Kahn with a hold, the kick, plenty of distance, and good. So the Bulls add on 3 more. Republic Bank field goal. Republic Bank will donate $100 to the USF Student Athlete Scholarship Fund for every made field goal this season. Republic Bank, the only bank in Tampa recognized as one of the top 4 performing banks in the country by ABA's Banking Journal. So the Bulls go up 16-0, Mark. And even though they didn't get the touchdown off that turnover, they did get points.
Yeah, and they took some shots there. You know, they really didn't come out conservative and try to run, 3 plays up the middle. They went to slant to A.J. Love. They went at the screen play, and they had some opportunities to try to make some big plays. They weren't able to do it. Instead, they kicked the field goal and get points.
Oddly enough, the offense has not gotten in the end zone yet for the Bulls. They produced 3 field goals. It was the defense that produced the touchdown. Daniels 6 of 11 for 49 yards, and Daniels the leading ball carrier with 7 carries for 30 yards. Wood for Notre Dame has 73 yards, although we've seen a little more Jonas Gray than Wood in the last couple of sequences for Notre Dame. Mike, what's the attitude down on the USF bench? It doesn't look overly like they're celebrating down there and kind of going wild. They're just kind of businesslike, at least it appears from here.
You took my adjective right away, Jim, but I think it's businesslike. These guys out here, they're talking about it. They're certainly obviously congratulating the big plays and kind of going from there. But you know what? We've seen this team go into big places and pull off the victories, and that's what I think this team's looking at. We've got a business to do. We've only played to this point 30 or 26 minutes. We still have 34 to go.
Marvin Kloss will kick off. Stay with us at halftime. We'll have all the scores of other games. Andrew Afric will get you up to date, and then we'll summarize the first half here from South Bend. It's been a good one, 16-0 USF, with 4:04 remaining in the second quarter. Kloss will kick off. He had a touchback to start the game. Riddick and Jackson are back, and the ball blows off the tee, perhaps an indication of the increasing wind as the clouds roll in. It looks like the wind is behind Kloss's back right now. Remember, the Bulls will start with the ball in the second half too, because Notre Dame took the opening kickoff after winning the toss. They decided to take the football. Severe thunderstorm warning in the area now, we're being told. Kloss's kick is high but short, and it's going to be Jackson at the 7. He runs it up to the 25 and not much more before being driven back. Terrence Mitchell was in the middle of that. Looked like Marcus Shaw as well. We just saw a little lightning in the distance to the east. First time we've seen that. Armando Sanchez also in on that tackle a moment ago. 3:59 to go. Well, if the weather's going to hit, wouldn't be much better time than halftime. Let's see if we can get this 3:59 done and get the players into the locker room.
Well, ESPN better stop taking timeouts out there, knowing the weather's coming in. Maybe we could get it just right and go in at halftime and let the wind blow by.
On the 26-yard line. The pace of this game is noticeable, depending, of course, all games are dependent on what television network you are on. This is the Bulls' first ever appearance on NBC. They have played on CBS before. That was at the Sun Bowl against Oregon a few years ago. But we have noticed that there is a, shall we say, a preponderance of television breaks and timeouts here, and we're in another one right now with 3:59 to go.
Yeah, but it's all Bulls right now, 16-0, and they've really executed very well. They've been beneficiary of turnovers, but they've also not turned the ball over themselves. So, you know, they've created the opportunities I think they have, and they deserve to be in this position right now, Jim.
Yeah, you can say that, even though they've been outgained 191 yards to 122. They've made the big plays, and Notre Dame has made the big mistakes. We talked a lot in the offseason about how strong statistically the Bulls' defense was last year overall. What might their numbers have been if they got a reasonable amount of turnovers created? But they were 72nd in the country in created turnovers. Come up with 3 so far today.
Well, that's all about coaching. Coach Schneider came in at the beginning of camp, said we need more turnovers, and you can tell that was very indicative to me when Jarrell Young came up and stripped the ball, allowing Webster to pick it up on that opening drive and race for the touchdown. You know, that's taught. You don't just come out and start, you know, tackle, hit the ball with your head and things. You come out there, you've got to try to force turnovers, and the Bulls have been able to do that in the first half.
3:59 to go in the half. Each team has all 3 timeouts remaining. And Notre Dame with a 1st and 10 on their own 26-yard line. Christ in the shotgun, running back on his left side. That's Wood. And Christ back to throw. Under pressure. Rolling out. He's going to get spun down. Juju Forte back at the 15-yard line with a big sack for the Bulls. That's going to be a loss of 11.
Well, Dane Christ just waited too long there. It was good coverage downfield, and he tried to pull it down and scramble, but, you know, Juju Forte's got some speed, and that kid gets a sack for the Bulls.
2nd and 21 on the Notre Dame 15. 3:30 to go in the half. Christ rolling out now, hands it off. Wood coming back the other way, and he will get a few, breaking some tackles. Boy, it looked like the Bulls had that contained, and all of a sudden Wood got out to the 25 for a gain of about 9.
Yeah, Wood's a slippery character. He's doing a fine job out there of reading his blocks, being patient, and you could tell the development of this kid running the football. The Bulls, like you said, Forte almost came from behind and stripped him on a play. Instead, they pick up a sizable gain.
3rd down and 11 on the 25-yard line. 3:14 to go. And this is a big play here because the Bulls would have enough time if they can force a punt here to try to get more on the board.
And possibly get good field position for where it is.
Christ back to pass. Here comes pressure, steps up, throws, it's incomplete. Trying to get the tight end at the 35-yard line. He was a little behind Tyler Eifert, and they're going to have to punt, and here come the Boo Birds with 2:59 to go.
Yeah, you know, and really when Chris steps into this ball, real tentative on his delivery, really didn't step off that back foot and deliver a strike down there. That's why the ball floated behind Eifert, and now they're punting.
So the Bulls will get another chance here. They have all 3 timeouts remaining and 2:59 to work with. Terrence Mitchell standing at the 40. Here's the kick by Turk, a better kick this time. Mitchell calling for the fair catch and coming through traffic to make it at the 42-yard line. So the Bulls will take the ball at the 42 as the rain starts to fall with 2:52 remaining in the first half. Now, Mark, this is a great setup. Almost 3 minutes, 3 timeouts, good field position, but we know what the end of the first half has meant to the Bulls last year. They've got to try to get over that, make some plays here, and make this beneficial, not make the big mistake heading into halftime.
Yeah, I'm sure the coaches have drilled this in their minds. You know, they want to get in these situations and get the monkey off their back and show what they can do, and it just comes with executing.
1st and 10 on the USF 42. Here is Daniels keeping left side. Ducks in, ducks out, gets about 6 to the 48. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
And BJ keeps bouncing that ball out and out and out. And, you know, you love it when he runs and you hold your breath many times. And that was a good first down pickup there against the Irish. 2nd
down and 4 on the Bulls 48, 2:29 to go. We can see the rain falling now. 16-0 Bulls, late first half. Long snap count. Running back moves to the right side. Daniels hands it off. It's Darrell Scott. Breaks 1 tackle in the backfield and will get to about the 50. He got about 2, and he's going to be about 2 short.
Yeah, and they're just using the clock a little bit. They do a long snap count now, under 2 minutes right now. Ball can get slippery in this situation early. When you get a light rain like this, you've got to really have ball security, both hands on the ball. Darrell Scott does a brilliant job with that on that play.
Ball squarely on the 50, 3rd down and 2. 1:40 remaining first half. Bulls leading by 16. Daniels in the shotgun. Looking to pass, loops it out, incomplete. Looking for A.J. Love, who was well covered, and it'll be fourth down.
And really, that was a great job by the Irish on the outside players. You know, B.J. wanted to throw that little hitch route outside. They jumped it and nowhere to throw the football. Instead of forcing the coverage, B.J. throws it away. That's a smart play.
So Brockhouse-Kahn will kick, and the Bulls have left Notre Dame a little time here. With 1:31 to go, the Irish still have all their timeouts. The rain falling harder here as the Bulls trying to get into the locker room with a 16-point lead. High snap, but pulled down by Brockhouse-Kahn. Very high kick, a good kick. Fair catch called for, and a diving fair catch at about the 12-yard line. Boy, Reddick really made a nice play on that. That was dangerous.
Yes, that was dangerous. That's Coach said, no, good job, son. Get on the sideline.
So Notre Dame will take the ball on their 13-yard line with 1:23 left in the half. And let's take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves. Bulls leading 16-0 on the USF IMG Sports Network.
When you hear Goliath bark, you know you're tuned to WELE Ormond Beach.
Rain falling in South Bend, 16-0 USF with 1:23 remaining in the first half. The Bulls now with 130 yards of offense. Daniels is 6 of 12 for 49 yards. Daniels 36 yards rushing. Scott with 23. And Lamar with 17. The leading pass catcher is Sterling Griffin with 3 carries for 36 yards. Mike, what can you hear off of public address to tell us about the weather situation?
Well, Jim, right now I'm just looking to send. They're talking about make sure you see the ushers and see if you can get to a safe place if there's anything. I have not seen any lightning at all to this point. You know, you're looking into the sky. Matter of fact, over you all in the press box, the sun is kind of peeking through in a little bit of a thin area of the clouds. But this is as hard as it's rained. Not that it's hard to this point, but we really haven't. You know, it's one of those rains where it's raining, but you're not fully getting wet. So one of those things, obviously, with the potential for bad weather, that's what the PA is addressing everyone and saying, be aware of it, and we'll let you know if we need to get out of this bad weather.
Well, they have 15 minutes at least to be inside with the players if they can get through this 1 minute and 23 seconds. Notre Dame with a 1st and 10. The ball marked on their 14-yard line, and Christ will throw. Over the middle, it's caught by Reddick, and D.D. Lattimore is going to wrap him up. That'll be near the line of scrimmage. They may give him a yard out to the 15. So, Mark, Notre Dame putting the ball in the air.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they've got to. I saw him snapping on the sideline for a field goal or something. They wanted to make sure they had some opportunities. No huddle as well.
And Christ rolls to the left under pressure, gets rid of it. It's incomplete. He got knocked down after the play by Clyott, and it's going to be 3rd down and 9 on the 15 with 58 seconds left. And boy, the Vultures are circling here.
Yeah, stop the clock, too, because you throw the ball like that, a risky throw outside, pressure on the backside. It was fortunate that on the play that Chris didn't hold that football, because that would have been a hit from the backside and maybe a fumble.
I guess when your team is down and you're getting rained on, you get a little testy. 3rd down and 9 on the 15. Wood will be the running back, and Christ is in the shotgun again.
Gotta watch the draw on this play.
Here it goes, and the Bulls stuff it right at the line of scrimmage. Wood is driven back. It's going to be 4th down, and we'll see if the Bulls want to use a timeout. At least make them kick here.
Yeah, and they're
good. The Bulls have 2 more to work with after that. And Notre Dame is going to have to punt. On a 4th and 10 from their 14. Boy, you can send the house here, Mark. There's not much to lose.
With a wet ball.
And a punter who hasn't had a good first half.
No, not at all, and they've got that set up where they have 3 people protecting the punter's foot in the backfield. The Bulls have got some pressure there. They haven't really gone up and tried to go get it. But you also don't want to give them anything at the end of the half. We remember Florida now. Yep. We were up 7-0. We could have went in there with 7-point lead. Instead, we went 7-7.
And there's still 46 seconds left, and Notre Dame still has all their timeouts in case anything changes here. Moving back to about the 50-yard line is Terrence Mitchell. And Ben Turk will punt. 4th and 10 for Notre Dame. High snap, but he pulls it down. Bulls going after it. They almost got there. Mitchell tried to get there for the fair catch, couldn't, let it bounce, and it's going to roll a few yards to the Bulls' 44. So now you've got 35 seconds, 2 timeouts, and you're at your own 44. Do you get aggressive here, or do you go into the locker room up 16 knowing you're getting the ball to start the 3rd quarter?
If I do anything, I throw it in the middle of the field. I think you can, you go down there and you take a shot. You look at it. If it's not there, dump the ball off. You can do a screen or draw. You have some options, what I'm saying, Jim, at midfield right here, but I don't think you take a knee at all.
Mike Bonani, 3 field goals, including a 49-yarder. Demetrius Murray is the running back. Daniels in the shotgun on 1st and 10 from the Bulls' 44. 35 seconds left in the half. Daniels takes the snap. Throwing near sideline. Sterling Griffin gets spun down at the 49. He gains about 5, and the clock running with 26 seconds to go. Bulls will go no huddle, but they're going to have to hurry here, not using a timeout. 20 seconds to go. Daniels in the shotgun. Has the football. Same play near sideline. Griffin trying to get out of bounds. He does not. Well, now they say he does, at least for the moment. It's a 1st down, so they're going to have to move the sticks, and that'll buy the Bulls a little bit of time. Now they'll take a timeout. So the Bulls are at the Notre Dame 45. They have a 1st and 10. They have only 10 seconds to go, and they have 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, and really what you can do is you can really go out and look for a deep route, throw an intermediate route, and then take one more play and take a shot for the end zone in this situation.
Mike, what's the weather like?
Well, and Jim, obviously it has stopped raining, and it is as still as it has been. No wind. We saw Mike Bonani on the 49-yarder who absolutely drilled it. Could have got another 10 yards. The 52-yarder that he missed wide was still good, long enough for another 5 yards. So it wouldn't surprise me to see maybe the Bulls try and get a 7 or 8 yards and then call their last timeout, maybe get an attempt here.
He's 61 yards out right now. Ball at the 44. 1st and 10. The Bulls have 1 play here with 10 seconds to go. Daniels back to pass. Under pressure, rolls to his right. Clock winding down, and BJ is going to go out of bounds at the 41, and he may be shaken up. Now he's up. Popped up okay. BJ is all right. And the ball's going to be on the 41 with 1 second to go. And probably now just a shot at the end zone as they reset the clock to 2 seconds. Well, again, there's not much to lose here. You just can't have it blocked and return for 6 if they decide to go for it. But it looks like, now we'll see. It's kind of an unusual lineup here. Chris Bright is coming up. Isaac Virgin is in the game. They're
going to take a knee right here because I think BJ may have possibly tweaked something. And
yep, they're going to take a knee. So this will be the final play of the 1st half. And the Bulls will go to the locker room with a 16-0 lead. 3 Mike Bonani field goals and a fumble return for touchdown by Kayvon Webster. And the trainers are all over B.J. Daniels, who is jogging off the field but a little gingerly. So we'll have to watch that a little bit as B.J., who slipped down on the near sideline on a carry on the 2nd to last play of the half, came up a little gingerly. And we'll see what his status is. Daniels ends the 1st half with 9 carries, 39 yards, and 8 of 14 throwing the ball for 61 yards. Mike Pepper going to get with Skip Holtz in just a moment here, as Skip going through the television interview first, and then Mike will have him for just a moment before Coach takes the team into the locker room in a very quiet Notre Dame stadium here, with the score 16-0 at the half. So the Bulls with a big defensive touchdown that really turned the tide early. Notre Dame took the opening kick, and we're rolling down the field. Mike?
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, Coach, obviously the turnovers early set the tone.
They did, without a doubt. You look at it, really took 2 scoring opportunities off the board for Notre Dame, and turned and gave us the ball, and obviously putting another 7 up. But we got to turn to look at some things in the red zone with some of the turnovers or some of the mistakes we've made down there and haven't been able to put the ball in the end zone.
And the last play, obviously, I get to find out. BJ looks to be okay.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. We'll find out.
All right, Coach. Good luck second half. All right, guys, that's obviously Coach Skip Holtz. BJ, when he ran off to the sideline, we saw he kind of went down a little slow. He was able to get up and walk onto the field, but obviously enough to not take another chance. So we'll try and get that word coming out of the second half.
16-0 at the half. We'll have an update on scores when we return. Bulls lead Notre Dame on the USF IMG Sports Network. Welcome back to South Bend. The Bulls are leading 16-0, and we continue to be in a weather delay here at Notre Dame Stadium. Jim Locke, Mark Robinson with you. We can tell you that this is the first weather delay in the history of Notre Dame football. And it's a lengthy one. There's still lightning in the area. Some of the Notre Dame sideline personnel has re-entered the field and are along the sideline. And a few hardy fans have decided to come back. But for the most part, we are looking at an empty stadium and a continuing delay here with the Bulls leading by 16 points. One interesting note from the NCAA, Mark, in terms of whether this game is quote-unquote official or not. It is not. The NCAA says you must play 3 full quarters for the game to count. So in the very unlikely situation that they can't resume this game, it would be a quote-unquote no contest. It would not be a USF win with them ahead by 16 points. But you got to figure there's going to be a way to play this game. The question is when, if it goes late into tonight, if it even goes tomorrow. But they've got to find a way to finish this thing up.
Yeah, you would think so, and it's pretty clear where we are now, Jim. And, we look off to our west behind us. We have some big windows. It's a little dark over there, but again, I guess coming from Florida, we see a lot of the lightning strikes, and obviously safety is the paramount that you really have to follow in this situation. But, looks to be that, we've been looking at monitoring the weather and things. But it's a call by the officials and I guess the coaches and the athletic directors to make that final call.
Yeah, unfortunately, even though the conditions are very playable right now, the radar does not look very good to the west. And what will happen is when they decide that it is safe to proceed, there will be a conversation between the officials and both head coaches about how long they feel they need before their players will be ready to play. So keep in mind, we're not even to that point yet. Once we get to that point, you've got to let fans back in the stadium. You've got to let players warm up. At this stage, you're going to be almost like the start of the game again. You're going to need that much warm-up time because they've been sitting cold for so long.
Yeah, and really, if you paint a picture for it, inside the stadium, underneath covers where everybody is, we can look at all the portholes, and we can see they're packed with people in there waiting, and I'm sure it's an inconvenient situation for the fans themselves, but it's a game they want to see and want to play, and I'm sure the players and the coaches are anxious to get out there. But again, we look at safety in all situations like this.
Yeah, you wonder how many of the 80,000 will come back, and certainly the longer this takes, the less you would think would remember. They had people out on the sideline, as we mentioned, with the Notre Dame people coming out. They are now retreating to the locker room again, so even the few people that were out on the field are being asked to come back. And we look at the radar to the west, and it looks pretty bad. So we're certainly going to have some more rain and some lightning coming up if the radar is a true indication. Bulls fans, does USF have the state's #1 fans? The Florida fan game will decide by pitting the Bulls against 5 other Florida universities, and the school that sends the most invitations wins. Each week we will update you on the Florida fan game standings. So Bulls fans, let's boost Florida tourism and win the title of Florida's #1 fans. Just head to facebook.com/share a little sunshine and invite everyone you know to visit Florida. So go share a little sunshine. We could use it here. It's 16-0 at the half. We're in South Bend and we're going nowhere, waiting for the weather to clear. We're in a lengthy weather delay that does not appear to be close to being over. So stay with us. We will take a look momentarily at the Auburn game and Utah State. A wild finish there. We'll have that coming up. A few highlights from that. We'll hear more from Jim Lighthall and Justin Pulaski. And, of course, if anything changes here in South Bend, we'll get you that information right away. 16-0 Bulls. An elongated halftime in South Bend on the USF IMG Sports Network.
Welcome back to our network studios here in Tampa. Jim Lighthall, Justin Pulaski with you in South Bend, Indiana. It's been a weather delay for about the last hour to an hour and a half as nasty weather was rolling through that part of the country, and we're at halftime with the Bulls on top 16-0, leading the 16th-ranked Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Justin will talk more about this game and also take a look at some of the other scores that Andrew's been keeping us up to date on throughout the day. But Mike Pepper is on the wet sidelines there at Notre Dame Stadium. Mike, if you can hear us, just give us a quick update as to what the situation looks like there in South Bend right now.
Well, Jim, actually, I'm not on the sidelines right now. I'm up in section 116 where a lot of the Bulls fans are. Just saw a big bolt of lightning, and right now it is the heaviest rain that we've seen to this point. But the good news is, and I know that everyone who's getting an opportunity is trying to watch their own bit of radar, that it is cleared out. The reason I came up to 116, aside from coming up to see where the Bulls fans are and kind of get their feel of a 16-0 lead, is to look at really where the clouds, because that's the direction from the southwest side. Most of the heavy stuff seems to be the south of the stadium, but it is raining here. And when you do see the lightning, it is kind of to the south, moving away, and there are clearer skies to the west. So, and again, the same time frame we talked about earlier, once this clears out and that lightning is no longer a factor, we might be looking at 10 minutes before the teams are given a 10-minute warning. You come onto the field, and then at that point, 12 minutes later, we're ready for the third quarter.
And, Mike, just to update you, some stuff that we've been hearing through the Big East officiating crew is that as of right now, it's up to the officials who are working with the weather folks to find out whether or not, A, it's safe to play. If it is not safe to play, the athletic directors will then step in after that to determine what happens with this game. It has to be 3 quarters for it to be officially declared a game. They will decide whether or not they're just going to sit and wait until everything clears out, or if they're going to reschedule the game for another time, because you've got travel situations, obviously, for USF and whatnot. But as of right now, it's still in the hands of the officials who are relying on the weather.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, that safety is the key part here, and when we talk about it, and, you know, and I was down there, had an opportunity when we saw Jack Swarbrick as well as Doug Woolard get with Skip Holtz and Chip Kelly and go into the locker room of the officials. It was about a 3 to 4 minute conversation. From then they came out. That's when it was determined. And again, there's a lot of lightning right now over the stadium, but there is a really good sign. As we said that from the time I started talking to you to this moment, the rain has really let up a lot, and when you do look to the southwest, there is really clearer skies. So might be a bit of a window. I know that's what they're shooting for, and we'll try and get a few fans' perspective a little bit too. But things are looking better. Might not be so exactly this moment, but maybe about 10 minutes from now we might have much better news.
All right, Mike, thank you very much, and we'll check back with everybody there at the Papa John's Pizza Press Box throughout the course of the evening. Justin, you've got the radar there in front of you, and we're seeing what Mike is seeing in the fact that there is some clearing, but the problem is there's some stuff right behind that, too.
Yeah, I mean, I like the clearing that we're seeing, but I don't know how long it's going to be clear for.
Yeah. It looks like it would be long enough for the teams to get out on the field and warm up, and then it's going to start to dump again.
We could go ahead and have the kickoff. We'll start the second half, and then sure enough, that's going to be when really a lot of the rain hits. Now, when you look at the radar right now, and what I'm seeing is there is a cell right over South Bend. There is going to be a clearing, and then there's another band of strong thunderstorms. But after that, I see a lot of green, a little bit of yellow. To me, that's just rain.
Right.
You can play football in rain. You just can't play in lightning. So it is about the players' safety. We are still early in the evening. So the good news is it was a 3:30 start. I don't know the flight situation for USF and getting back down here. But, even if this were to last another hour, you're only looking at an 8 o'clock start. We got primetime football on a Saturday night.
Well, and the good thing, too, nowadays, teams don't fly commercial air anymore. There's a charter plane sitting there waiting for them to come back home, so they could probably roll into that airport there whenever they darn well please, or they get finished, and then they can come back in their own schedule. There's also a weather delay in Ann Arbor, as some of that weather that we saw at the very beginning of the game is starting to hit Michigan, as they are now sitting and waiting with their game against Western Michigan. But it's 16-0 USF leading Notre Dame. We'd like to thank everybody who's been sticking with us throughout the course of this afternoon through 30 minutes of football, and now, again, about 90 minutes worth of a delay. A lot of games going on here this afternoon. We had some games on Thursday, also some games on Friday. Anything jump out at you so far in the last 36, 48 hours?
Yeah, I mean, Utah State what are you doing? You had the game.
Absolutely snatched defeat from the jaws of victory today at Auburn.
And it's really too bad for Utah State because Utah State gave Oklahoma a run last year. This year they go to Auburn and really should have won that game. To have Auburn score 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the game was outstanding, was unbelievable. To get an onside kick and not just recover an onside kick, but take it down inside the 20. It was an unbelievable comeback by Auburn. The fans, a lot of them that left, are probably kicking themselves. Yeah. But unfortunate for Utah State because that would have been a huge win, maybe the biggest win in their history. Longest winning streak in the nation extended today by Auburn. Also, we saw TCU, a team that had such a great year a year ago. They went into Waco, Texas, and got smoked pretty good by Baylor last night. Yeah, TCU was down big. They come back, and then Baylor to really have the fortitude to actually, hold on and win that game with Robert Griffin III, who is going already a Heisman Trophy candidate, but this guy is dynamic. And this offense, TCU had a very good, solid defense last year. We expected more of the same this year. For Baylor to throw up 50 points on them in the first game of the season, very impressive. It was good to see some teams that have had some controversy here, like Ohio State. They look good today as they buried Akron. Obviously, they had a lot of people out for that game. We'll see what happens with Miami on Monday night against Maryland. I know some of the big name teams that were down early today, Justin, that came back and won. Purdue had trailed all day long to a lesser opponent. They came back and won late. I know USC, I haven't seen here as of the last 6 minutes. They had a 2-point lead after building up a big lead. Minnesota, going out west, had closed it to 19-17. A lot of teams escaping today is what I'm getting at, and they're big name teams. And sometimes what happens is these big-time schools kind of sleepwalk through the first half, and all of a sudden they wake up and realize we're about ready to lose our opener against somebody we shouldn't lose to. And I say all that because Notre Dame is in this situation, or at least that's what Irish fans are thinking. Yeah, and there's no preseason in college football. So, you look at the NFL and you see 4 preseason games. They're working out the kinks. They're working out what they need to work out to get ready for the regular season. In college football, you're at it. Right. This is game 1. You better be ready to go. And USF came out, and they were ready to go. Notre Dame not. 3:30 kickoff. We thought maybe it'd be done. We got a couple of huge games coming up tonight. Right. First week of the season to see Boise State going to Georgia. Mark Richt on the hot seat. Can Georgia bounce back? Aaron Murray from Plant High School at quarterback. Orson Charles, their tight end, also from Plant High School. A lot of local connections with Georgia. Can Georgia bounce back and become a dominant team in the nation again? And then the big one tonight as well, Oregon and LSU. That's in Dallas. That's going to be what could be an outstanding game. LSU dealing with some suspensions. Oregon dealing with some issues as well. Oregon's got a high-flying offense. Coming off the loss to Auburn in the national championship game last year. Oregon's never beaten an SEC school, but they have high hopes that they can do it tonight. Sunday, West Virginia's in action against Marshall, a game that last year Marshall had them beat and let West Virginia come back and win that game. But that game will be in Morgantown on Sunday afternoon at 3:30. All right, we'll get you back to the Papa John's Pizza press box up in South Bend, Indiana in just a moment. USF leading. We're in a weather delay between the Bulls and the Fighting Irish, 16-0. We'll come back and send you back up north on the USF IMG Sports Network.
Broadcast of University of South Florida football is authorized under rights granted to IMG College LLC by the University of South Florida and is intended solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or commercial use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of IMG College and the University of South Florida is prohibited. The announcers are selected by IMG College and approved by the University of South Florida.
Welcome back to the Papa John's Pizza press box. It looks like this weather delay is going to weigh in at about 2 hours and 10 minutes Down on the field, Subway restaurants, build your better breakfast and take lunch to go. And Mike, give us a weather update. This one, we presume, will be a little better than the ones we've had in the last couple of hours.
Well, my meteorological skills, Jim, by looking to the west beyond the press box, just thin clouds. Obviously, as they started to move in, we saw them for the very beginning of the game. We started to see the darker clouds move. It really didn't hit till the second quarter, but it looks good. I don't know how long that window is, but it looks a lot better right now.
All right, well, we're getting ready to play. The Irish will kick off to start the second half. The Bulls will go from our right to our left in this third quarter. 3 field goals and a 96-yard fumble return for touchdown by Kayvon Webster. The Bulls scoring in the first half. And Notre Dame concerned enough about the 0 on the scoreboard to change their quarterback at halftime. This will be the first Notre Dame kickoff of this game. Lindsey Lamar will be deep for the Bulls. Kyle Brinza, a freshman, will kick off. And at last we are underway in the second half. End over end kick. Lamar will have a chance to return. Settles under it at the 1-yard line. Works his way to the far hash mark. Not a lot of room. He's going to be knocked down short of the 20-yard line. Lindsey Lamar only got it back to the 18. This crowd hung in pretty well. It's certainly not what it once was. But I bet they've got more than 50,000 out there still, Mark.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And the student section starting to file back in and fill up a little bit. We were wondering if they were going to come back, but they've come back. And, you know, now the Bulls have their opportunity here. Up 16 points with the football right now. And they can't go into the conservative mode. They got to continue their game plan and attack.
Yeah, it's almost a new football game. You can't let the crowd get crazy on you. They were grumbling and booing at the end of the first half, but they're pumped up now. 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line. Here is Daniels faking the handoff, swings it out. It is caught by Lamar, but he's only going to get about a yard to the 19-yard line, 2nd and long.
And, you know, this is a design play. They want to try to keep the Notre Dame defense from getting any pressure on BJ. He dumps it off in the flat, but he had Sterling Griffin deep. If he'd have seen him, he could have let that one go, and it may have been a big play.
2nd down and 9, just short of the Bulls' 20-yard line. Crowd is louder than it was toward the end of the first half. Scott, the running back, on the left side, and he gets the ball right side, and he'll get a couple, but not much more, to the 22-yard line. And that'll set up a 3rd and fairly long for the Bulls. They have to get to the 29 to move the sticks.
Yeah, that's okay. They moved, got a couple positive yards there. Now it's a tricky 3rd down right here. The crowd's into it. They're rejuvenated. You've got to get the crowd back out of this game by making a play.
3rd down and 7 on the Bulls' 21. Scott to the right of Daniels. Daniels back to throw, has time, throws it long, and it's over the shoulder of Lindsey Lamar and incomplete at the 40-yard line.
Boy, they brought the house on that play. They blitzed BJ knowing he was going to probably pass in that situation. Had single coverage across the board there. BJ couldn't fit it in tight window. Good coverage by the Irish secondary.
Justin Brockhouse-Kahn to kick. Spinning kick, not a very deep one. It takes a Notre Dame bounce and kind of rolls sideways and will go out of bounds at the 49 of the Bulls. Not a good first minute and a half of play in the second half for USF. Notre Dame will start in great field position.
Yeah, and they really do right there. And, you know, that's a testament to the fans here, to this program. You know, they're a prideful program. You knew they were going to come out here fired up, and, you know, you're on the road. It's so difficult out here to change the momentum, but now the Bulls have got to do just that.
Like I said, you're almost starting over. And you got to knock this crowd down a second time like you did at the beginning of the game. Tommy Reese is in the game at quarterback. 1st and 10 on the Bulls' 49. He will throw near sideline. Caught. It's Floyd, and he's going to get down to about the 42 before going out of bounds. That'll be a gain of 7.
Well, good throw, good first throw for Tommy Reese. He takes a short drop. He delivers the ball very quickly outside, and you know, obviously they go to Matt Floyd, Michael Floyd, their top receiver.
2nd and 3 at the 42. That's Floyd's 3rd catch of the game. Reese hands it off. This is Wood picking his way forward. He's got the first down, and he carries Quinton Washington to about the 34 of the Bulls. So Notre Dame with a first down at the Bulls 34, 2 minutes into the third quarter. Anthony Hill checks in on the defensive line for the Bulls. Patrick Hampton to the sideline. No huddle for Notre Dame. Reese to throw near sideline, caught by Floyd, but Washington corrals him quickly. They're still going to give him 4 to the 30. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah, both teams, just remember in the first half where the Bulls attacked those short flats out there, having just the receivers run little short hitches, and the quarterback is able to deliver the pass and with a high percentage pass and make the completion outside.
2nd down and 6 on the 30-yard line. 3 wide receivers left. Bulls jump across the line, but get back in time. No flags as Notre Dame has not snapped the ball yet. 10 on the play clock. Now Reese throws it far sideline. It's caught at about the 26, just a little short of the first down is T.J. Jones. Webster with a hit. He'll be about a yard short as they mark it at the 25.
Yeah, really a high throw outside there, but T.J. Jones is able to corral that one back in. He does take a shot in the ribs, and he is coming out of the game right now, but he looks to be okay.
Yeah, I think they're just getting an extra tight end in there as Mike Ragone replaces him on 3rd down and 1. On the Bulls' 25-yard line. 11:50 remaining third quarter. Bulls leading 16-0. Reese over center. Hands it off. Wood is met. He did not get the first down. Corey Grissom met him and dropped him right at the line of scrimmage.
Nice. That's a great explosion there by Corey. Corey was able to get through there, get the penetration, and drop him there. And looks to be they're going to be in a field goal situation. They're going to kick it.
They are going to bring out the field goal team. David Ruffer will attempt a 42-yard field goal from the far hash mark. Ruffer was 18 of 19 on field goals last year. Chase Hounsell will hold it for him at the 32. And movement, and if the Bulls jump, that's going to be a first down for Notre Dame. Big mistake if it was. It looked like Ryan Giddens.
Yeah, it was, and he got across there. He went for the hard play fake, you know, and that's a...
Offside, defense number 97, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So Notre Dame will have a new set of downs, and the ball will be walked to the Bulls' 20-yard line.
Yeah, and those are the things that the Bulls dodged in the first half, only being their second penalty, and that one right there was a crucial one there. You know, you almost... in a long field goal situation, you just want to assure and let him kick it and let the kicker make a mistake and set his first down for the Irish.
1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Reese in the shotgun. Swings it out left side. It's caught by Floyd. Runs behind a blocker. Gets near sideline and is finally dragged out of bounds by Legist at about the 5-yard line. That's a 15-yard pickup. 1st and goal. Notre Dame inside the Bulls' 10 for the 3rd time. The first 2 times they turned it over.
Yeah, and you know, the Bulls are falling in the trap of what they did, what Irish did in the first half was letting those short zones be open. These are easy throwing catches for your quarterback and your wide receiver out there. Instead of running a cover 2, allowing the corners to get up there in zone coverage and attack those zones and make them make the harder throw downfield.
1st and goal on the 5. Wood, the running back, on the right side. Reese with the football, looking to throw toward the end zone. A lot of time. Crossing pattern. Picked off. Mike Linares with a diving interception. It banged off the hands of the Notre Dame running back Wood, and Linares picked it off. The 4th turnover for Notre Dame. The 3rd time they've given it up inside the Bulls' 10-yard line.
And that's why you got to play every play. No quit in this Bulls defense. I tell you, they hang in there, and they are very opportunistic this today. I'll say this afternoon and evening because it's been a long game, Jim.
10:09 to go, third quarter. Bulls lead 16-0 on the USF IMG Sports Network. Bulls will have the ball on their own 4-yard line after the interception by linebacker Mike Linares. So the Bulls have to be a little careful here, Mark. But boy, if they can put points on the board somehow now, after taking the air out of Notre Dame with that 4th turnover, this could be huge.
Yeah, it really could be huge. But first things first, get first downs. You know, get a first down, try to get another one, change the field position, and if you're able to get points, great.
16-0 Bulls, 10:09 remaining in the 3rd quarter. B.J. Daniels, 9 of 16 for 61 yards. Bulls still coming out of the break here, have not lined up yet. It looks like Scott is going to be the running back. Landy will be in a slot on the right side. Daniels in the shotgun, standing in the end zone. Hands it off to Scott, who bulls his way forward for a tough run out to the 8.
Boy, I like this Scott. I mean, he hasn't got many yards today, but he puts both hands on the ball. He's strong. He's elusive. He can get outside, and he really takes care of the football. That's priority number 1.
10 carries, 29 yards. 2nd down and 6 on the USF 8. A.J. Love, who has not caught a ball today, is on the left side. Here's Daniels rolling right, looking to throw. Got a man. It's Griffin. He's got a first down out beyond the 20-yard line. So Sterling Griffin has caught 6 of the 10 Daniels completions today, and the Bulls move the sticks on the far side of the field.
Boy, I just remember when Sterling came in as a freshman, and, you know, back when Coach Levitt would always talk about this kid and say how he's the leader of the receiving corps as a freshman. Now you get to see a little bit of why that is, because of his ability to catch the football.
On the 18-yard line, 1st and 10 USF. Here is Scott coming to the left side, trying to get the edge, slips down, somehow keeps his balance and gets 3 or 4 yards. Boy, Scott was almost horizontal there trying to keep his balance, but he did, and he fell forward for a decent gain.
Well, remember, he's 243 pounds, the way Coach put it at the Coach's Show Wednesday night. And, you know, this kid has just been growing. He's been a very beneficial of the weight program, and he's really showing it today.
2nd and 7 on the Bulls' 21-yard line. Here's Daniels, keeping, throwing it downfield. Looks like he's trying to get it along the far sideline to Love, and he was well covered. It falls incomplete, and it's 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and A.J. really broke that route off downfield. He slowed down, and B.J. decided to just throw it deep anyway. Smart move. Don't take a sack in a situation like this. But again, you're trying to stretch the defense. Every once in a while, you got to throw a shot down the field.
3rd down and 7. Ball on the 21-yard line. Daniels with a running back on his right side. He rolls to the right. He throws. It's Welch, and he drops the ball at the 30. Oh, boy, the redshirt freshman Deontay Welch had a first down, the ball right in his hands, and he dropped it, and that's going to create a Bulls punt.
Right on the money. Beautiful throw there by B.J. And, you know, Welch ran a nice route. He just couldn't convert on the play. It's going to force a punt by the Bulls.
So it's 4th and 7 on the 21, and Brockhouse Khan will come in to kick it away. 8:41 remaining in the 3rd quarter, 16-0 USF. Picking up the action after a 2-hour-plus weather delay. Brockhouse Khan with a pretty good kick. It turns over. Fair catch called for and made at the 33-yard line by Riddick. And that's where Notre Dame will take over. We've got a timeout, 8:33 remaining 3rd quarter. Bulls lead at 16-0 on the USF IMG Sports Network.
Yeah! Take that touchdown to the bank!
Now you can watch live college football on your Verizon phone.
Nice tackle! Yeah!
Get over 75 live college games.
That's how you do it!
But don't just take my word for it.
What a catch!
Take his. Only Verizon offers you an experience as big as this. Find it all at VerizonWireless.com/video. Verizon, official wireless provider of USF Athletics. Subscription required. Data charges apply according to your plan. Coverage not available everywhere.
Are you throwing away money? By not taking advantage of Tampa Electric's free energy efficiency programs, you could be tossing away hundreds each year. Eventually, that's a whole truckload of money. But there's a simple fix. Tampa Electric's Energy Planner program can get you lower electricity rates through an advanced programmable thermostat installed in your home for free. Plus, get an energy audit and 8 energy-saving light bulbs just for participating. Go to TampaElectric.com and click on Free Energy Planner.
$16-0 3-0 Bulls third quarter. Fifth Third Bank customers, visit your local Fifth Third Banking Center to get a voucher for 2 free tickets to the Cincinnati game on October 22nd. Offer good only while supplies last. With your voucher, all you need to do is show up at your Fifth Third debit card and ID at the USF box office. Stop by today, Fifth Third Bank, the things we do for dreams, member FDIC. Well, Mark, the Bulls were looking at another first down there. Instead, Notre Dame with the ball, and Bulls have got to be careful here. They've had tremendous good fortune getting 4 turnovers, 3 of them inside their own 10. That's not going to continue indefinitely.
Well, you know, one thing they did do positive, they got a first down, and they could have had another one if it wasn't for the drop.
Here's Reese with the ball for Notre Dame. His pass is knocked down and then falls to the ground, and it's incomplete. Patrick Hampton was able to slap that ball away. It was almost caught on the carom by Riddick, but it's incomplete, and it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's obviously a coaching adjustment there. You know, they're throwing all these short drops and trying to throw them out in the flats. If you can get your defensive ends and get your hands up in the passing lane, you can get a tip ball.
2nd and 10 on the 34-yard line. Not sure what's going on here as some of the Bulls coaching staff and Skip Holtz talking to the officials here. They still had first down on the down marker there. I don't know if they have a problem with that or not, trying to get it to 2nd down. Looks like they do. They're going to bring another down marker over there. So it's officially 2nd down and 10. They've just got to get the marker to show it. 8:29 remaining third quarter. Bulls leading 16-0. USF 163 yards of offense. Notre Dame with 230. But the Bulls have had 4 takeaways, 3 of them inside the 10-yard line. Tommy Reese took over a quarterback at the beginning of the third quarter. He is back to throw. Long pass far sideline. Nobody home. It's incomplete. Intended for Floyd. Quentin Washington had the coverage, and it is 3rd down and 10.
Well, a little miscommunication between Floyd and Reese out there. Obviously, they weren't on the same page. It looked like Reese wanted to throw the out route, and Floyd was actually cutting it off earlier. So, you know, sometimes that happens when you change your quarterback midstream there. They may not have got the amount of reps that they needed during the course of preseason.
3rd and 10 for Notre Dame on their own 34-yard line. Reese in the shotgun, running back on his left side, looking to throw. Pressure coming over the middle. He's got his man. It's a first down and much more. Going all the way down to the 30-yard line of USF was the tight end, Tyler Eifert. He got a seam, made the catch, and then ran another 20 yards.
Boy, and that was a strike. That was a well-thrown ball there by Reese. He really stepped into that throw and placed it so that Eifert could continue his route and run after the catch.
Marked down at the 29 of USF. 1st and 10 for Notre Dame. Approaching 8 minutes remaining third quarter. Wood, the running back, shifts to the left side. Reese to throw again. Under pressure, dumps it off. Got a man. It's the running back, Wood. And a great open field tackle by Mike Linares will hold that to about a 5-yard gain.
That was a great open field tackle. We know how slippery Woods has been throughout the entire football game. Mike Linares, he reads the play. He's able to get outside, show some speed, and get him on the ground.
2nd and 5 on the 24-yard line. By Mark, the Irish have almost abandoned the running game in this third quarter. They're throwing almost every down. Reese is already 6 of 9 for 73 yards.
Yeah, and you know, he's coming off the bench doing that, slinging them.
2nd and 5 on the Bulls' 24-yard line. And Reese will throw again. Arcs it to the near sideline to Floyd. It's caught, and that's a touchdown. They beat Jarquez Jenkins, and Notre Dame is on the board for the first time.
Well, it looked like Floyd got away with a little push on Jenkins. You know, pretty good position. He had a step on Jenkins, but he pushed with his left arm, but they didn't call it on the play. And this is a touchdown for Notre Dame.
So it's 16-6 with the kick coming. For Reese, his 13th career touchdown pass. Extra point on the way, and it's good. So it's 17, make it 16-7. The Bulls lead is 9, and we'll take a timeout. 7:12 remaining third quarter on the USF IMG Sports Network. 16-7 Bulls, just over 7 minutes remaining third quarter. Mark, you got to come back with something here if you're USF.
Yeah, well, it starts with special teams. I mean, you want to get good field position. Last kick, Lindsey Marr was only able to get out to the 18-yard line. Had the Bulls offense backed up a little bit, and, you know, the one drop, Deontay Welch, I mean, that could have converted the first down, but you got to give credit to Notre Dame. They came out, they executed, and they took a shot down the field and converted.
They've now outgained the Bulls 296 yards to 163. The great equalizer, 4 Notre Dame turnovers, none for the Bulls. So USF leading all the way. Now it's 16-7 here midway through the third quarter. And Brinza will kick it off momentarily here with Lindsey Lamar, the only deep back. Andreas Shields is in that up back position for USF in case they try to pooch one here. And the other Bull alongside him almost looks like Clavion Nelson, 56 there. So we'll see if Lamar gets a chance or not. Mike Linares, 55, is the other up back. But this will get to Lamar. Makes the catch at the 2-yard line. Takes it up the right side of the field. Boy, he's going to get stopped short of the 20 again. 18-yard line, same spot. Very poor special teams play on the kick returns for the Bulls.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, Lindsey's got to make some movement. He's running straight up. You're waiting for him to make that big cut, and he never makes that big cut. You know, good coverage by the Irish, but Lindsey's got to make the coverage team spread out a little bit.
They'll mark it on the 19, and that's where the Bulls will take over. B.J. Daniels, 10 of 19 for 71 yards. Griffin, the top receiver, 6 for 58. Demetrius Murray, who has only 2 carries on the night, although he did start the game, is now in the game at running back. Lamar in motion. Lamar gets it, going wide right, won't get around the corner, is going to be stopped maybe a yard, but nothing more.
Yeah, you know, that play really, you know, there wasn't much out there. Lindsey tried to bring it back inside. We know Lindsey's got, you know, great speed if he can get in the open field, but right there, the Irish really hemmed him in real well on that play.
No gain, 2nd and 10 on the 19-yard line. Here's Daniels back to pass, swings it out. Lamar makes a really nice catch. Couple of moves, but then he runs into his own blocker and is going to be thrown down after a gain of only about 2 on the play.
Yeah, not a big gain there. They'll give a little bit more than that, but, you know, well blocked outside. Again, you gotta make some people miss in the flat over there. Lindsey's unable to do that, and now it's 3rd and long.
They gave him 4, so it's 2nd down, make it 3rd down and 6 on the 23-yard line. 3rd and 6 on the 23. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Bulls need a first down here. The Irish offense has gotten their legs in the last few minutes. Daniels back to pass, has time, throws. It's Griffin. He's got the first down out beyond the 30-yard line. Sterling Griffin only caught 14 balls in his freshman year. He's got 7 tonight. Perhaps none bigger than that one.
Oh, yeah, I tell you, that's a big first down. Again, you know, you have to break the game down into manageable moments. That first down really helps gain some confidence for the Bulls.
1st and 10 on the 30. Swings it out to A.J. Love. Following a blocker, Love is going to get about 8 to the 38-yard line. It'll set up a 2nd and short.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that A.J. fell on that play because it looked like he was going to pick up the first down, but he does pick up 8 yards.
Love's first catch in 2 years after missing all of last season with injuries. 2nd and 2 on the USF 38-yard line, and movement on the Bulls offensive line.
False start, offense, number 55, 5-yard penalty.
Jeremiah Warren, so now instead of 2nd and 2, it is 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and those are the plays you really got to dodge. You know, the Bulls, you know, made a couple of them. The offside by Giddens on the field goal, and then that false start there.
3 penalties on the Bulls for 15 yards. Daniels in the shotgun, going to swing it out again. Look out, a quick hit by the defender, and this will go for no gain at best. Robert Blanton had that one smelled out, and he knocked down the Bulls receiver immediately after the catch.
Yeah, it looked like
Victor Mark made the catch, but it's a loss of 3.
Yeah, Victor Mark's a pretty big guy out there catching the ball. You know, he's 220 pounds. but when you don't get an opportunity to catch it, turn and run, you know, you can get yourself hit in the flat like that.
So all of a sudden, instead of 2nd and 2, it's 3rd and 10. The ball back at the 30-yard line for USF. They must get to the 40 to keep the football. Daniels to throw. Off the back foot, he overthrows his receiver. He was looking for Mark in the far sideline, and the Bulls are going to have to punt again. Little too high on the throw, and Justin Brockhouse-Kahn will be out to kick.
And really not much separation downfield. BJ tried to throw this. You know, there wasn't an interception in the situation. You got the 1 first down. You got to punt this ball now and play to your defense.
And the defense has been struggling. Here's Brockhouse-Kahn, gets it away. A high spinning kick. Fair catch called for. And dropped, but he fell on it. It looked like Riddick, who fumbled one away earlier, was able to land on this one at the 33-yard line. He was immediately covered then by Armando Sanchez. We got a timeout, 4:17 to go in the third. 16-7 USF on the USF ING Sports Network. Prove you're Florida's #1 fans and send your friends $25 off a Southwest Airlines flight to Florida. Just go to facebook.com/share a little sunshine now. 16-7, 4:17 to go, and certainly, Mark, coming out of the gate after this long weather delay, Notre Dame has looked like a much improved team.
Well, they have, and again, they're at home, and when you're at home, you get the fans into it. You're looking for that spark to get yourself going, and the Bulls have somehow got to stop the bleeding in here. They got the nice interception by Linares inside the 5-yard line, but outside of that, the offense, a couple first downs, no real sustainable drive, and now they're in a ball game, 16-7.
179 yards of offense for the Bulls, 93 on the ground and 86 through the air. Tommy Reese is 7 of 10 for 97 yards, a touchdown and an interception since taking over for Dane Christ, who played the first half. 5 wide receivers for Notre Dame. They have run the ball very sparingly since Reese took over. He's going to throw again over the middle. It is caught. It's Riddick, and he's into USF territory at the 40-yard line. Second catch of the day for Riddick. And Notre Dame really moving the football.
Well, they are, you know, and again, like you talked about, they basically abandoned the run a lot right there. The Bulls have got to get their nickel package in and try to, you know, match up with these receivers and make some plays on the ball.
3 wide receivers left on 1st and 10 from the Bulls 40. Bulls threaten blitz. It's a handoff as they finally run it, and this is going to be Wood, and he's going to get about 5 down to the 35-yard line. Wood approaching 100 yards. That's his 18th carry, and it's going to be 2nd down and about 4 as they mark it on the 34.
Yeah, and Gerald Young came up in the gap up there and almost kind of blocked himself off because he got up next to the defensive lineman. When the ball cut back, he couldn't get back into pursuit.
In the shotgun now with the running back on his right side. Reese ready for the snap on 2nd and 4. Looking to throw, slant pattern, caught. It's Floyd. He breaks a tackle. He's going to be at the 20-yard line before being pushed out of bounds. John Legist makes the play, but Notre Dame gets yet another first down. And they'll mark it on the 19 of the Bulls.
And it's a nice job of Notre Dame. Give them a lot of credit. They're mixing it up right now, and you know, they're throwing out to Floyd outside. Then they're going to get, you know, throw the seam routes down there, and really an impressive outing, you know, by Reese coming off the bench to step in there and start completing these passes.
He's got 139 yards passing all in this quarter. 2:58 to go. 16-7 Bulls, but the momentum with Notre Dame. Reese lines up over center this time. And he will hand it off. It's Wood, and he's going to move the pile forward for about 5. He'll get down to around the 15. That will give him over 100 yards rushing.
Well, the Bulls are making a concerted effort trying to rip the ball out. You know, they got the strip in the first half and were able to convert that into points. And, you know, right now, first man in, you still got to come in and make the tackle first. Second man in, it's supposed to come in and try to strip the ball. 2nd down and 5 on the 14-yard line.
2:15 remaining third quarter. Reese to throw again. Slant pattern, it's caught. It'll be a short gain. The Bulls are going to stop this short of the first down. T.J. Jones might have got it down to about the 12 or so. He's going to be a couple of yards short.
Yeah, and he is short in that they're going to spot him well short of the first down there. Third down and short, though, in this situation.
They'll place it on the 13-yard line. So they've got almost 4 yards to go here. Third down and 4 with 1:30 to go. Bulls have led all the way. It was 16-0 at the break. Then we had a 2-hour, 20-minute rain delay with lightning in the area. Bulls have not found their legs since we have come back. Third down and 4. Big play here. Reese to throw. Looking. A lot of time now. Airs it out, and it's going to be incomplete along the far sideline. It's 4th and 4, and we'll see what Notre Dame does with 1:12 to go. They'll bring the kick team out. So they will try the field goal here from the far hash mark. They'll place it on the 20. So 30-yard kick. Remember, the Bulls jumped offside on the last field goal attempt. Notre Dame got a first down, and they marched it into the end zone. Good snap, good hold. Boy, the Bulls almost blocked that, and he missed it. It's no good. So David Ruffer, who hit 18 of his 19 field goal attempts last year, misses, and the Bulls' lead remains at 9. Bulls had a great charge there, and they almost blocked that. 1:07 to go in the third quarter. 16-7 Bulls on the USF IMG Sports Network. 16-7 USF. Welcome back to the Papa John's Pizza Press Box. The Bulls will take over after the missed field goal attempt on their own 20-yard line. The yardage in this game really getting one-sided now. 350 for Notre Dame, 179 for the Bulls. But thanks to 4 takeaways, the Bulls are leading and have led the entire game. We approach the final minute of the third quarter with the Bulls a 1st and 10 on their own 20. Daniels over center. Fakes the handoff, looking to throw, and he is going to be sacked. Back around the 12-yard line. The sack by Ethan Johnson, a senior defensive end out of Portland, Oregon.
Well, it's interesting on that play. I think it was only a 2-man route out there. Notre Dame was ready for it. A good play-action pass by B.J. Almost seemed that there was supposed to be a 3rd man, an outlet guy going out, but no one did. So it's a sack now, a 2nd and long.
Loss of 7 on the play. 2nd and 17 from the 13-yard line. Daniels in the shotgun. Here comes pressure. Throws. He's got A.J. Love. And Love with a spin move. And he's going to get the first down at about the 32-yard line. What a big play that was. Daniels to Love. 1st and 10.
Yeah, and the Bulls have been doing a lot of primarily outside passing games. This time, instead of A.J. Love turning out, he turned in. And he got in behind the linebacker. The linebacker lost him. B.J. found him with the pass. 1st down.
So the Bulls have a new set of downs on their own 32-yard line with 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Daniels in the shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off, and Scott and a big crowd of people will push forward for about a yard to the 33, and that's how the third quarter will end. Bulls 16, Notre Dame 7. Getting set for the final 15 minutes coming up on the USF IMG Sports Network.
Sixteen to 7 the score as we end the third quarter of play in South Bend, Indiana. South Florida over Notre Dame. Andrew Afric back here in the Verizon Fios Network studios giving you a quick scoreboard update before we head back for quarter number 4. In the Big East, Cincinnati has a 27-0 lead over Austin Peay. 10.5 minutes to go in the second quarter in Cincinnati. The other Big East game is a lot closer. Pittsburgh hosting Buffalo at Heinz Field. They just got underway in the second half, and it's only 7-3 Panthers. In the top 25, one potential upset bid brewing. Number 12, South Carolina trails East Carolina 14-0 in Charlotte. Let's get fourth quarter action underway. Jim Lauk, Mark Robinson, take it away.
16-7 Bulls, second down and 8 on the 34-yard line. So the Bulls 15 minutes to work with here. Demetrius Murray is now the running back. B.J. Daniels 15 of 25 for 104 yards. Darrell Scott and Daniels both have 33 yards rushing to lead the Bulls. So Mark, the Bulls got that big first down a moment ago. They need a few more here to keep that football away from the Irish while it's still a two-score game.
Oh, yeah, they must do that. It's funny, it says second down and 8 on the board, and the sticks are still a second and 10. I thought Scott got a couple of yards on that play, and it looked like they misspotted this.
Yeah, they put it at the 33-yard line, so it really is a second down and 10. Daniels in the shotgun, running back on his right side. Daniels gets it, throws it out. It's caught by Griffin, and he gets the first down. And a late flag on a late hit out of bounds. Mike Pepper, you were right there. What'd you see?
Well, Sterling Griffin caught the ball, Jim, and as he turned, he took 2 steps out. The right foot was absolutely out, a good step, and before he got hit, easy call for the officials.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 4, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Fifth-year senior Gary Gray. Sterling Griffin now with 8 catches. The Bulls get the first down yardage on the pass and then the penalty yardage tacked on, and now they're on the 42-yard line of Notre Dame. First and 10 USF on the 42. Daniels in the shotgun with a running back on his right side, 3 wide receivers right. Long snap count. Now Daniels has it. Looking to throw downfield to Love, a little too high at the 20. Boy, he had A.J., but he had to try to fit it in a small window, and he was a little bit high.
Yeah, and if you looked at the other side, Sterling Griffin was open. They did the hitch pump, and the corner jumped it. Sterling got behind him. If he'd have stayed there, he'd had an easier pass over to Sterling Griffin.
Second and 10 on the Notre Dame 42-yard line. 14:30 left in the football game. Daniels in the pistol with Joel Miller behind him. Daniels swings it out to Miller. The pass deflected and knocked away. We've seen him try to go that route twice, Mark, and Notre Dame has had it defense both times.
Yeah, they really have. And, normally if you have that play, you have something off of that play where you can fake it. It's called an option screen. You throw it, you fake it to your flat, back in the flat, and throw it downfield. Maybe they come to that next time.
Big third down for the Bulls here. 3rd and 10. They've got to get it to the Notre Dame 32 to keep this drive alive. 14:26 to go. Daniels with a running back on his left side, 2 wide receivers right, tight end in the slot right. And B.J. has the football, back to pass. A lot of time, throws, he's got a man, it's Andreas Shields, and he's got the first down at the 30. The big tight end out of Wharton High School, Andreas Shields, slow to get up after getting the first down yardage at about the 30. So Shields needs some help getting up, holding his left arm or wrist. And hopefully Shields will be all right. His first catch of the year, and a big one it was.
Yeah, and we really haven't seen this pass play before, which really fooled Notre Dame. Shields outflanks the linebacker and gets into the open field, and not sure what happened. Looks like he landed on his right elbow, but...
So Shields shaken up here with 14:17 left in the game. The Bulls are going to have a first down on the Notre Dame 30. Remember, the Bulls concerned about tight end depth. That's why they moved Evan Landy there. They got good news with Mike McFarland getting his eligibility, but we haven't seen him tonight. Skip Holtz has said that he just hasn't been with the team long enough to play a major role early. And we'll see if Shields is able to return or not. But right now, the Bulls with a 1st and 10 on the Notre Dame 30-yard line. Daniels will line up in the pistol with a running back behind him. 14 minutes remaining. Hands it off. It's Murray, and he's got a hole, and Murray stumbles forward, to about the 22-yard line. He's going to pick up 7 or 8.
That was close to a touchdown right there. Murray, if he could have brought that right foot over, looked like he got tripped just at the end. He hit it with such acceleration. Good change-up back from having Scott in the backfield.
No huddle for the Bulls. It's a gain of 7, 2nd and 3 on the Irish 23. Here comes Murray again, left side again, first down to about the 18. He got about 5, and the Bulls will move the sticks.
Yeah, Notre Dame was saying they got the football, but he was down on the field. Murray was down after converting the first down, and the Bulls are knocking on the door inside the 20-yard line.
Again, no huddle. They mark it on the 17-yard line, 1st and 10 USF. Daniels hands to Murray, and he pounds away at the left side, gets about 3 to the 14.
Yeah, they're trying to really keep Notre Dame from substituting, but now Notre Dame's able to get 3 new players in the game.
They'll call it a gain of 2 to the 15. So it'll be 2nd down and 8, 13 minutes to go. Bulls leading 16-7 and looking to try to extend their lead here with the ball inside the Notre Dame 20-yard line. That means we are in the Verizon Fios red zone. Fios a network ahead. 2nd down and 8. Daniels calling the play clock down to single digits. He's got the football, gives to Murray, trying the right side, and Murray busts through. He's inside the 5. He's down to the 3. That's the first down for the Bulls.
And the Bulls are going to go quick count again. This time they went off the right side there.
Daniels wants the ball. 1st and goal from the 2. It's Murray, and he will be stacked up and driven back. May have lost about half a yard back toward the 3. It'll be 2nd and goal.
The Bulls are keeping it on them. Notre Dame still tries to substitute. They're getting 3 and 4 guys coming in, but it's really creating some anarchy out there for Notre Dame right now because the Bulls are coming so fast and furious.
Scott replaces Murray, and Andreas Shields has re-entered the game. 2nd and goal at the 3. You heard Skip Holtz tell Mike Pepper at halftime they need to punch it in from the red zone. Here's another chance. 2nd and goal. Movement. Let's see which way. This may push the Bulls back to the 8. Boy, the referees are talking, though. They're conferring.
There is no foul on the play. The players reacted to a whistle in the stands.
How about that? So an inadvertent whistle, and it will remain 2nd and 3, and by inadvertent we mean a fan, not a official blowing it incorrectly. So it's still 2nd and goal from the 3. They should be running the clock though after that. They are not. It's stuck at 11:52. Daniels awaits the snap. He's got it. He keeps it rolling to the right, cuts it back inside, and dives forward to about the 1. It'll be 3rd and goal. So 3rd down and goal at about the 1.
Well, they had to do that play, get BJ outside one time because you got to confuse the defensive line out there because they're, again, their hands in the ground. They can't see where the football is. Now they bring in a fullback in that situation with Scott.
It's Chris Bright, the converted linebacker. And the Bulls are going to ask for a timeout.
Timeout, South Florida. That is their first timeout of the half.
Bulls have 2 remaining. 11:15 to go. 16-7. Bulls on the USF IMG Sports Network. Huge play coming up here. 11:15 left in the game. 16-7 USF. It is 3rd down and goal at the 1. Mark it as a full 1 yard, and the Bulls really need to punch this in.
Well, I like the timeout here because you really want to, settle yourself, kind of see if you can spread the field. It'd be interesting to see if they come out and spread the field and try to let BJ work some magic out there, or if they're going to come with the power. So they're actually going to spread 2 out to the left.
And Daniels will be with Murray in the backfield. And the Bulls with personnel problems here. I think it's Landy coming in late. They were 1 player short. Got time on the play clock. There's 15 on the play clock. And oh boy, here comes a flag.
Illegal substitution. Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Wow. Yeah, 12 men on the field on that play, you know, and
so now it'll go back to the 6. And whatever you had drawn up, chances are we're not going to see it on this play.
No, probably not on this play. You know, although they had a nice setup if they wanted to go into the slot side of an option on that play, now they have to kind of reconfigure a little bit. Again, ball security down here. Even if you don't score a touchdown, you still can have an opportunity for 3 points.
Third and goal from the 6. The play clock is already in single digits. Bulls got to move here. 4 seconds left. They snap it in time. Daniels arcs it up looking for Griffin. Incomplete, and there's the flag.
Yes, sir.
Well, it looked like it should have come. There was all sorts of contact as Griffin went up for the jump ball. They hesitated, but they threw the laundry.
Well, the cornerback never looked back for the football, and he made contact in the Sterling's body. Sterling tried to go over.
Pass interference. Defense number 4. Since the penalty occurred in the end zone, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
On Gary Gray again. He's had a rough second half. So it's a first and goal for the Bulls at the 2.
Yeah, you had to call that even when you're the home team. That was pretty evident there.
Darryl Scott, the running back. Now he's going to split out wide to the right, and Daniels is alone in the backfield. And BJ's keeping. No, he's not. He jump shots it. It goes into the end zone. It's caught. Evan Landy, touchdown. Daniels faked the run, stopped, and kind of shot-putted the pass, and he found Evan Landy in the back of the end zone. That's 6 for the Bulls. It's 22-7 with a kick coming.
That's just great playing right there. BJ pulls up. I don't know if this was a called play or not. The receivers released downfield. BJ had the wherewithal to find the route, threw it where only Evan could catch it, and Evan comes down with it.
Extra point on now as the Bulls will try to add to their lead. Bonani has kicked 3 field goals tonight in 4 tries, and he kicks the extra point here. 11:05 to go. 23-7 Bulls on the USF IMG Sports Network. Long way to go, though. 11:05 remaining. Bulls lead is 16 as Marvin Kloss gets set to kick off. He started this game a long time ago with a touchback, and he kicked off quite effectively throughout the first half. Riddick is back deep for Notre Dame, and they have a change back there also. Collinsworth is the other deep man now. First time we've seen him back on kick return duty today. So Kloss set to go. Pretty good kick heading toward the end zone. Collinsworth will take it a yard deep, and he'll come out 15-20, and gets drilled at the 23-yard line. Boy, somebody stood him up like crazy for the Bulls. That was a great hit by Mike June, the junior college transfer linebacker out of Jacksonville.
Whoa, those are the plays that get me fired up. You know, I'm a defensive guy. You know, Mike June comes down and delivers a blow, the strength coming out of his legs, and now the Bulls got an opportunity here. Ball's inside the 25-yard line. Defense has got to make a play down here.
On the 24-yard line of Notre Dame, 1st and 10 with 10:59 to go. 23-7 Bulls, trying to knock off the number 16 Irish on the road. Reese in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff, looking to throw. A lot of time. He throws, and it's dropped at the 40-yard line. Boy, Theo Riddick's had a lot of problems holding on to the football today. That should have been about a 20-yard game.
Yeah, well, Riddick is their big play guy. He's their guy in open space that can make people miss, and, you know, but he's got to catch the football. He's got to learn to catch the football, and, you know, that ball was well thrown by Reese.
So it's 2nd down and 10. Riddick does have 2 catches for 27 yards. Floyd 7 for 102 and a touchdown. 2nd down and 10 on the Irish 24-yard line. Reese back in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers right, 1 to the left. And Reese looking to throw. Short drop, hits Floyd near sideline. Makes a nifty move, but then goes out of bounds at about the 30. He'll get about 6. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, Floyd, outside of that touchdown, been relatively quiet. You know, I mean, he does have 100 yards, but he's a talent. I mean, this kid, you know, he can drop 150 yards on you in a drop of a hat.
3rd and 4 at the 30. They need to get to the 34-yard line. Reese in the shotgun again. He's already thrown the ball 15 times, and he didn't play in the first half. Looking to throw again. Quickly to Floyd near the marker. Fights forward and appears to have enough at the 35-yard line. So that'll be a 1st and 10 for Notre Dame with 10:25 to go. So 1st and 10 for Notre Dame. And Jones going out on the far side trying to pick up that pass. Played it on a hop. It'll be incomplete. And it'll be 2nd and 10 for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and quarterback Tommy Reese, he didn't set his feet. And you got to set your feet before you deliver the ball outside. That's why the ball floated.
And the officials conferring for a minute here. Not sure what's going on.
That ball went.
No way it could have been a catch.
Please reset the game clock to 10 minutes, 14 seconds.
Well, it reads 10:41. They're trying to run it the wrong way on us. Yeah, it was 10:25 at the start of that play.
Yes, it was.
And it magically went up instead of down. That's a neat trick. You may be able to hear right near Mike Pepper, Brian Kelly is arguing with the officials, but there's not a doubt that was not anywhere near 10:41.
Got to watch the clock, guy.
I guess.
Thank you.
So now it is set to 10:14, and that's where it should be. So it's 2nd down and 10 on the 35-yard line. I'm not sure who noticed that, if it was a Bulls coach or if it was the officials, but somebody paying attention out there, and it saved the Bulls about 30 seconds. On the 35-yard line of Notre Dame, Reese in the shotgun with 5 wide receivers. And he will throw again. Pressure coming, unloads, incomplete. And this will be a flag on Quentin Washington. He got tied up with the tight end, Tyler Eifert.
Pass interference, defense number 2. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
So it'll give Notre Dame a new set of downs at their own 39-yard line.
Well, Quentin had plenty of coverage there. He got that hand around the waist, and a lot of times they're going to call you on that play there. But it was a fortunate thing because he really played the ball very well.
1st and 10 on the Notre Dame 39-yard line. Reese to throw again, long downfield. Nice catch by Floyd at about the 40 of USF. He went up between 2 USF defenders and pulled it down for a big game.
Yeah, and they're double covering Floyd over there, and there's no excuse for that. You've got to, Gerald Young is over top with Quentin Washington, and Floyd's a good receiver, but if you got double coverage, you got to make the play.
To the 39 of the Bulls, 1st and 10 Notre Dame, 9:53 remaining. Again, Reese in the shotgun. He's done almost nothing but throw, and he's loading it up again. This is Eiler, the tight end, hit hard by Linares, but he's going to gain about 5 to the 34. Now they're going to mark it all the way to the 33, so give him closer to 7 on that. Reese now 14 of 20 for 180 yards.
That one interception, though, the one errant throw, but he's been sharp in the second half.
9:20 to go. Call it 2nd and 3 from the Bulls 32. USF leading 23-7. They've led all the way. It was 16-0 at the half. Reese to throw. Under pressure, throws. It's caught by Floyd. Gets away from one man, and he's down to the 21. Well, the Bulls got to get a little pressure on Reese. He's getting a lot of time to throw.
Well, he really is. And, coverage-wise, though, they that time brought Jacquez Jenkins over there. You got to stay with Floyd. Looked like they had doubled and even triple coverage when Floyd went inside. But instead, they let him go on the pump fake, and they came back to him and completed for the 1st down.
9 minutes to go. It's 1st and 10 on the 21-yard line. Floyd now unofficially with 11 catches. Here's Reese. Arcs it long toward the end zone, and the Bulls had Floyd double covered that time. Young and Washington both there, and it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, you heard Coach Holtz in the beginning prior to the game saying this kid Floyd is the goods, and he is. He's good receivers. Probably going to be playing on Sunday, and he's got that type of talent over there. The Bulls are giving him a lot of attention, though, in the secondary.
146 receiving yards, and when you put a lot of attention on Floyd, that's when Reddick gets dangerous. 2nd and 10 on the 21-yard line. Jonas Gray is the running back now. He comes in motion to the left, and Reese will roll to the right. unloads to the far sideline. It's caught by T.J. Jones, and he's got a first down inside the 10 to about the 6 of USF. And we got a bull shaken up along the far side. Kayvon Webster comes hobbling off. First and goal for Notre Dame.
It looks like Kayvon had got a cramp or something like that.
Well, the Bulls have had a series of takeaways inside the 10. One more sure would be nice. First and goal on the 6 for Notre Dame. 8:33 to go. Reese with the football, looking toward the end zone. Slant, it's caught by Reddick, and then he's lit up by John Legist. He's down at about the 1-yard line. And Legist comes hobbling off, holding the back of his leg. It'll be second and goal at the 1, and Legist shaken up.
There's probably some cramping going on out there right now.
So they'll attend to Legist here, and the Bulls defense will have to try to find a way to keep Notre Dame out of the end zone here with a second and goal from the 1 with 8:13 remaining. Boy, Reese has really put up some second half numbers. 17 of 24, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and in his defense, that interception was on a deflected ball.
Yeah, he threw it a little behind, hit off a player's helmet and went up in the air, and Mike Linares came down with the interception, but he's been sharp. He gets the ball out quickly as he delivers a ball on time. But the Bulls haven't got any pressure on them. They're doing a lot of standard 4-man rush, and the guys really aren't getting that much pressure on Reese. Thus, he's able to look down the field, survey it, and make the throw.
Notre Dame has thrown for 306 yards, rushed for 115. They have thrown 39 passes in this game. They've run 25 times, and they have thrown almost exclusively in the second half. Michael Floyd has tied his career high with 11 receptions.
Yeah, and you see that right there, and now looks like John Legist can kind of jog off the field, but you can tell he's still got some cramping in the back of look like his right leg.
Second down and goal from the 1. 23-7 Bulls with just over 8 minutes remaining. Floyd will go wide to the right, and Reese will be over center. Handoff, it's Wood, and he didn't get there. He's going to be short. It's going to be third down. Still fighting, and they haven't blown the whistle yet, but now they do, and he did not get in. He'll be inside the 1, and it'll be third down, and the clock will continue to run with 7:48 to go.
Yeah, you think it's, whatever, it's 2-down territory, right, or 4-down territory right here.
Third and less than 1. Reese over center. Hands to Wood, and he's in on the left side. So Notre Dame scores with 7:35 to go, and the Bulls' lead is 10 with the kick coming, and you'd think they would go for 2 here, Mark.
Yeah, and they're signaling 2. They're going back in. Brian Kelly signaling for 2. They're asking the players to get back here. And
so this is a big defensive play for the Bulls here. If they hold them out, it's still a 2-score game. If not, it's an 8-point margin. Let's get some injury updates from the sideline. Mike, what's up?
Well, Jim, right now, obviously, as they go out for the 2-point conversion, Legist is getting that hamstring stretch. Kayvon Webster going to the locker room. The Bulls secondary is really starting to cramp up. B.J. Daniels, too, was getting some extra stretching last time during this Notre Dame possession.
So 2 top DBs out, at least temporarily, for the Bulls. Ball placed on the 3-yard line. Notre Dame going for 2. They're on the near hash mark. And the Bulls need a stop here to keep this a 2-score game with 7.5 minutes to go. Play clock running down. Notre Dame has to burn a timeout.
Notre Dame, that is their first time out of the half.
Boy, Brian Kelly saw it, and he just got there in time. So each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Wood will remain the running back. He's run for 104 yards, most of it in the first half. Ball on the 3. Notre Dame attempting the 2-point conversion to try to make this an 8-point game. Reese will be in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers right. He's looking that way. Throws a slant pattern. Flags are down. The ball is intercepted, I believe. No, knocked down by the Bulls. But let's see what the flag is. So the pass is incomplete, but we're waiting on the flag.
Yeah, that could have been anything. That could have been a That could have been a illegal, pick. It could have been, then after that, it could have been a hold afterwards. We can't speculate on that one. A lot of flags.
Referees are conferring on the far side of the field.
National Weather Service is again tracking some potential severe weather.
Let's see what they say.
This may include high winds and sky and ground lightning for this area.
There are 2 fouls by South Florida on the play. Offside, defense number 36, personal foul, face mask, number 36. The one penalty will be enforced, half the distance to the goal. Repeat the try.
So a doubleheader on Sam Barrington, and the ball will be moved to the 1.5-yard line.
Once again, a chance of some potential severe weather again.
And they are giving severe weather warnings again here with 7:35 to go. So Notre Dame now has 1.5 yards to go instead of 3. Boy, the public address announcer's getting his money's worth here, isn't he? He's a chatty fellow. Here's Reese throwing toward the end zone for Floyd. He does not make the kick. It's no good. The 2-point conversion fails. The Bulls still lead by 2 scores. It's 23-13 with 7:35 to go. So a big play there, Mark, as Floyd unable to leap up and catch that ball in the corner.
Yeah, it is. And, you go right for it, good coverage over there, forcing the receiver to go outside. The throw faded the receiver as well. Now like you said, Jim, 10-point lead.
So the Bulls will get the ball back here, receiving the kickoff momentarily. We don't know if the weather is close enough that it's going to be a factor in this last 7:35 or not.
Yeah, and you really gotta watch out for the onside kick in a situation like this. I don't know, with time winding down, 7:35 remaining in the football game, if Notre Dame can afford to allow the Bulls run some time off. They only got 2 timeouts remaining.
Each team with 2 timeouts, as Mark mentioned, a 10-point USF lead with 7:34 to go. Lindsey Lamar will be deep. He has returned 2 kickoffs and hasn't made it to the 20-yard line either time. Let's see if the Bulls can get a little better field position here, assuming that Notre Dame kicks it away. Brinza will kick it off momentarily.
Deep man this time is number 5, Lindsey Lamar.
So Lamar deep for USF. 23-13 Bulls with 7:35 to go. And I'm not sure what the holdup is this time. Maybe another TV break.
Yeah, they got to remember that we're trying to get this game in. NBC had plenty of time for breaks.
2-hour and 20-minute delay to start the second half. But that's apparently what we are waiting on, and it caught the teams by surprise, too. They were all lined up ready to go when the officials stopped them. Seven minutes, 35 seconds to go. 23-13 the score. And we are just about set to kick it off here. There's the whistle, so we'll see if the Bulls can run some clock on this offensive sequence. Brinza ready to go. He does kick it away, end over end kick. And Lamar will take it on the 1-yard line. Takes it up the center of the field, cuts to the left, gets around the left side, 20, 25, 30, far sideline and out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. So a better return that time, and the Bulls have decent field position.
Yeah, that's what Lindsey Lamar has to do when he gets back there. His thing is he's got speed. He's got to stretch the field some. He's not a big guy, to run inside the wedge. You're not going to get very far at Lindsey Lamar's side.
So the Bulls will have a 1st and 10 on their own 32. 7:28 to go. Daniels will be in the pistol. His running back will be behind him. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Hands it off. Murray trying the right side, trying to spring it out, and he's going to be knocked down for a loss at about the 30.
First for Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame does a nice job of penetration there, really, hemming in Murray on the play. Murray does a smart thing by, trying to cut back, but he gets on the ground.
2nd down and 12 on the 30. 7 minutes remaining. Bulls have led all the way. They're up 10 now. The Bulls taking their time, working the play clock. They've still got 10 on the play clock, 6:50 on the game clock. Now Daniels to the line of scrimmage. He's over center, pitches to the right side. Here's Murray getting a little seam and getting out to about the 36, and late flags come down.
Flag after the play.
Well, this could be big for the Bulls if it's a late hit on Notre Dame. The flags came at the very end of the play after Murray had gone for about 3 or 4 yards.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 90 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's a big one on Ethan Johnson. The Bulls have a new set of downs with 6:41 to go.
Yeah, you would expect that. Ethan's a senior, and you don't expect that from a senior player in a tight game like this. Every mistake counts.
So the Bulls will have a chance to keep that clock moving. Daniels will line up over center. You would think the Bulls want to keep this ball on the ground if they can and just keep chewing up yardage and time. Handoff, Murray trying the left side, cuts it in. He'll get a couple, gets inside the 45 to about the 44. Might have squeezed 4 out of that, and we're down to 6:07 to go.
Yeah, good hard run in there. You know, we saw Gerald Scott in the first half, and now we're seeing a dose of Demetrius Murray. It's nice to have 2 backs in there that can give you good experience and be able to run in between the tackles.
On the 44-yard line of Notre Dame, 2nd down and 6, and the Bulls starting to use every second of the play clock now. 10 on the play clock, 5:40 on the game clock. 2nd down and 6 from the 44 of Notre Dame. Daniels pitches left side. It's Murray again, and he won't get much, maybe a yard, setting up a 3rd and about 5.
And the Bulls are really trying to get outside and use the little burst by Murray outside, and they're pulling their guards and trying to, run a kick out outside and allow Murray to cut inside. But what it's doing is taking some time off the clock, and it puts them in a 3rd and manageable situation now.
3rd and 4 on the Notre Dame 42. We approach the 5-minute mark remaining. 23-13 USF. A first down here would go a long way for the Bulls. Daniels in the shotgun, play clock down to 3. Takes the snap. He's going to keep it left side and cuts it forward. He'll be short of the first down to about the 41. He'll be about 2 yards short, and Notre Dame will take their second timeout.
Notre Dame, that is our second time out of the half.
So we'll take a break. 4:44 remaining. Bulls will have a 4th and 2 when we return. It's 23-13 USF on the USF IMG Sports Network. Jim Lock, Mark Robinson, Mike Pepper, and Ed Pendino with you in South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame Stadium. The Bulls have led all the way. They lead now with 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go. 23-13 USF. Notre Dame is down to their final timeout. The Bulls have a 4th and 2 at the Notre Dame 40-yard line, so you would presume, Mark, trying to pooch this ball and just pin Notre Dame back.
Yeah, you'd like to be able to do the little, we've seen even BJ do it before, a little quick kick where you come out and you make them jump all sides. If not, you snap it and do a little, and kick it, a little pooch kick over top. Because sometimes you can keep the safety up and they won't be able to get their kickoff, their punt return team in the game.
So it is 4th and 2 coming out of the timeout. Florida blue crabs. Think about the possibilities. Fried soft shell, cocktail claws, or jumbo lump meat for your favorite salad, or on grilled fish. A perfect time of year to enjoy the great taste of Florida blue crabs. Remember to ask for fresh from Florida blue crabs. Punting team is on. Justin Brockhouse-Kahn. Riddick will be deep, and he'll be standing inside the Notre Dame 10-yard line. Here comes the rush. Brockhouse-Kahn gets it away. A high kick and a good one. Riddick calls for a fair catch and makes it inside the 10. It's going to be either the 9 or the 10-yard line where Notre Dame will take over with 4:37 to go.
That was a real nice kick by Brockhouse-Kahn.
He's had a good game.
Yeah, he really has. He's been under some competition, we'll call it, in camp, but they gave him the nod coming in this football game, and he really's done a nice job.
So Notre Dame will start on their 9-yard line, 1st and 10, with 4:37 to go. 23-13 USF. Tommy Reese, who came in the second half, 17 of 24, 211 yards, a touchdown, and interception. He's in the shotgun with a running back on his right side. And he's ready to throw. Here comes pressure, stepping up against it, rolling out to the right. Now he's going to run, and he'll scoot out of bounds at about the 13. He'll pick up about 4 on the play.
And the Bulls only rushed 3 on this play, and they're going to drop 8 in the coverage. And, you know, that really makes it tough to throw in zones because you've got 8 guys down there closing in on the ball. It forces Reese to tuck the ball and run.
2nd down and 6 on the 13-yard line. And we got something else going on the field now. Mike, what's up?
The guy with the orange gloves, the red hat as we know, and he's come running onto the field.
The game is being suspended because of weather conditions.
Well, you heard it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a severe thunderstorm is approaching the campus again at this time. This storm has produced high winds and sky-to-ground lightning, so we're going to ask you to seek shelter immediately. It is for your safety. Shelter is available in the concourse of the stadium, Jordan Science Hall, the Joyce Center, Mendoza College of Business.
You can hear the public address announcer making the announcement. 4 minutes, 21 seconds to go. 23-13 Bulls. Let's take a timeout on the USF IMG Sports Network.
Security personnel.
Well, this remarkable afternoon continues well into evening as the stadium is being cleared again because of a weather concern with 4 minutes and 21 seconds left in the football game. We got to the first half in good shape. It was 16-0 at the break, but heavy thunderstorms with a lot of lightning rolled in, and we had a 2-hour and 20-minute weather delay. Finally got the third quarter going. And the Bulls struggled at the beginning of the third quarter. Notre Dame came back and made it a little closer at 16-7. And since then, the Bulls have pretty much traded points with Notre Dame. USF leads 23-13 with 4:21 to go. Notre Dame has the ball on their own 13 with a 2nd down and 6. And we're stopped again here. Most of the fans, and got to give both Notre Dame and USF fans credit. This place was pretty much filled back up. It took a while, but it was pretty full again with people coming back after that delay. But now the band is leaving, the fans are leaving, the players are already in the locker rooms, and we are in for another delay.
Yeah, this is the most bizarre game we commentated in years, but you always try to err on the cautious side, I guess. And it seemed from inside the stadium, you felt like it's not that weather, but the weather must be coming up quickly for them to do this.
Well, they said they had a window of opportunity when they restarted this game, and I guess the window was just a few minutes short of what they needed to get it all the way through. Mike, what's it like down on the field?
Well, Jim, I mean, when they made that decision to go ahead and suspend this, it was a lot of disbelief, but not all the players have even cleared the field yet. The band is still trying to go up the tunnel, and the wind has picked up remarkably at this time. So it's one of those things, and again, with that weather situation moving in the entire front, we haven't seen lightning out here, and particularly in the nighttime, you would think you would see it, but given the wind conditions, it might be something that is imminent. I don't know the delay, and again, we have been talking a little bit about what might happen. Well, obviously at halftime, it couldn't be called. It could be called at the end of 3 quarters. With a 10-point lead and 4 minutes left, we might be looking at, if they aren't able to get the rest of this in, that 2-point conversion missed as far as anything else goes. So we'll keep our ears. Obviously, more announcements going on now.
Yeah, Mike, and the wind has seemed to pick up down there. You said you can't see any of the lightning or anything like that, but do you see any of the weather off to the side at all?
No, I'm looking into the lights, Mark, so it's beyond you. I do see, looks like maybe some sort of sprinkles that might be coming here in just a second. But again, no lightning, but the wind is honestly, the second half was pretty much non-existent the entire time. They just took down the large American flag, or now I guess they're going to raise it back up because this game is not officially over. And when it's up at its highest, it is pretty much full extended. So wind is obviously a concern up here in Notre Dame too. So it's one thing we're going to keep our eye on. Obviously, as we know something, we'll let everyone else let her know too.
Well, during that sequence, while Mike and Mark were talking, our hardworking public address announcer did come on and say that they are anticipating at least a 30-minute delay. So we're back to treading water for a little while here with the Bulls oh so close to wrapping this thing up with 4 minutes and 21 seconds to go. So we'll take a timeout. Our situation is this, our second weather delay of the game, USF 23, Notre Dame 13, 4:21 to go. Notre Dame with a 2nd and 6, the ball at their own 13-yard line with 1 timeout remaining when we are able to resume play. This is the USF IMG Sports Network.
And welcome back to our network studios in Tampa. Jim Lighthall, Justin Pawlowski with you. USF clinging to a 23-13 lead in South Bend, Indiana. And yes, we're still going on this football game today. Yet another weather delay. We had a 2-hour and 20-minute weather delay at halftime, and play was stopped about 20 minutes ago because of impending weather. And we have a lot to talk about, but not everything to talk about because we still have better than 4 minutes left to go in this game. Let's take a 10-second station identification. This is the USF IMG Sports Network.
When you hear Goliath bark, you know you're tuned to WELE Ormond Beach.
And welcome back. USF leading 23-13 against Notre Dame. Justin, this has been a crazy day, and I expect the final 4 minutes plus to be just as crazy.
Yeah, you know, I think what's going to hurt Notre Dame the most in these final 4 minutes is that even though this band, and there's a band of showers right now right over South Bend, and you know, when you look at the radar and you see a lot of red and a lot of orange, it means probably you got a lot of lightning. After that, it's a lot of green. So it's just going to be raining the rest of the night. That's going to be tough to throw in anytime you got that amount of rain. So, you know, Tommy Rees has done a phenomenal job coming in and being able to throw the ball and give Notre Dame that spark. However, when you have this amount of rain that's going to be falling for probably the last 4 minutes, it's going to be tough for Notre Dame to really get back into this game. And that's good news for USF because, you know, I looked at the first half as USF having that 16-0 lead. With that long break, I knew it was going to play into Notre Dame's hands because USF had all the momentum at the time, and sure enough, Notre Dame came out firing.
They came out as the aggressor in the third quarter after the long delay. They put up the touchdown in the third quarter. Both teams have a touchdown here in the fourth. For the final 4+ minutes, Notre Dame is looking, when they eventually get back on the field, at 87 more yards.
Yeah.
They're only at the 13-yard line. So the play that the Bulls had late there, the punt by Justin Brockhouse-Kahn to eventually get down at the 9, is a big play in the course of this game because it forces Notre Dame to go the length of the field.
Yeah, one of the key plays in the game to force them and pin them back that far, and now they have to go all the way down the field and get a touchdown or get a field goal and then hope to get the onside kick. It was a key play by Justin Brockhouse-Kahn, and now if you're a defender for USF, if you're one of these defensive linemen, you're Ryan Giddens, you pin your ears back and you're going to get Tommy Rees at quarterback. So it's going to be interesting to see the strategy USF plays. I'm guessing more of a prevent in the coverage and then just letting those front four get after the quarterback.
And keep this in mind, there's only one timeout left for Notre Dame, but the huge difference between the pro game and the college game is you get a first down and it stops that clock long enough to get your offense line back up again. So even though they've got 4 minutes left, they can extend this game quite a bit by picking up first downs. Now, if you're going to play prevent in the USF situation, you want to keep people obviously in front of you, but every time you give up first down, you're going to buy them a little bit extra time.
Yeah, you know, and as long as you're forcing them to take their time and they're only going 10-yard chunks, you don't want to give up big chunks, and you want to keep them inbound. So even though the clock does stop until the chains move, the clock's going to get going again. We've seen crazy things happen. We've seen crazy things happen today.
Yeah.
So this game is not over quite yet. You've got a team at home. They rallied after the first rain delay. They could rally after this rain delay, and we saw Auburn earlier on today.
We thought 14, they were dead.
Done.
Yeah,
they were done.
They were done.
Utah State goes in. They get a touchdown, 2-score lead with 2 minutes to go, and Auburn came back and won that game. So you never know what happens in the game of football. The key is there's going to be a lot of rain here, probably for the last 4 minutes, and that's going to really hurt the passing game of Notre Dame.
23-13 is the score from South Bend, Indiana. USF has led throughout this game. They jumped on the Irish 16-0, and they're trying to hang on for the last 4+ minutes of the game. You look back at the start of the fourth quarter and that big drive by the Bulls that was about a 14-play, 80-yard drive, which they really hadn't done all day long. Yeah. They've been benefiting off the Notre Dame turnovers in the short field. They put together a huge drive when they needed one.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a drive that went down and got a touchdown, but it was a drive that took a lot of time going down there and really clicking on all cylinders. And, you know, they needed more consistency. And as we said during our last weather delay, you know, in college football, you don't have the preseason games to fine-tune everything. So you have what happened at Vero Beach, but this is the first time you're going up against a team in an opposing jersey, and you're going and facing a team like Notre Dame in their house. So, yes, USF is going to clean things up. You know, the next 3 weeks, especially being at home, I think is going to make them comfortable getting ready for Big East play when they go and play Pitt.
Well, and this is why college teams play 1AA teams, or they play lightweights in their first game. And maybe the Notre Dame fans thought USF fell in that category. I know a lot of people that didn't feel that way, you and I included. But you see teams schedule teams for that very reason, which is why you have to respect USF and Notre Dame for playing this game, why you respect Oregon and LSU for playing each other, Georgia and Boise today as well. Because, and I thought Skip Holtz said something really prophetic earlier this week when he said, when I was at Notre Dame and we knew we opened with Michigan, you knew you had to be almost perfect when you started the season. You had to have everything cleaned up before you took that first snap because you couldn't afford to be bad in the opening game.
It's almost as if it forces you to have better practices in training camp, and the team is more focused because they know they're not getting ready for Western, Central, whoever. They're getting ready for Notre Dame, you know, in Notre Dame. So they came out, they were ready. They forced turnovers. They've gotten drives together when they've wanted to. I would have liked to seen a little more rhythm on offense in the second half, but when they needed the rhythm and they needed the long drive, they got it, and they got a touchdown.
Well, in that 14-play drive, by my count, 11 plays were runs, and that was something that they hadn't done very successfully in the second half. Notre Dame was kind of selling out against the run and stuffing that. They got the ground game going, and again, Notre Dame with just a mistake or two on that drive. Remember, USF got down inside the 5-yard line, got to the 1, had the illegal substitution, which backed them up to the 6, and then Notre Dame commits a pass interference on 3rd and goal from the 6, opened the door for the Bulls to score a touchdown.
A clear call, too. I mean, that's just, he was all over the receiver on that play. That gave USF the ball at the 1-yard line and ultimately helped them punch it in. You know, we've seen Notre Dame throughout this game today be very undisciplined. And you look at what we've seen from Brian Kelly on the sideline, teams take the personality of their head coach. Brian Kelly has been a lunatic.
He's been a crazy guy.
He has been a lunatic on the sideline in this game, screaming. It looks like his face is about to just burst. I mean, it's humorous at times because, you know, the only reason he's acting like that is because USF is giving him fits.
Right.
And his team is taking the mentality of their head coach, and they're going out and committing these dumb turnovers and these dumb penalties. And that's something that you don't see. USF is calm, cool, and collected. All right, we have to punt on this drive, but you know what? We're going to come back. We're going to have a 14-play drive right down the field and get a touchdown. It's been all business-like for USF, and Notre Dame has just been out of control.
Sounds a lot like Skip Holtz. Pretty calm, cool, and collected
Exactly.
guy,
They are taking USF is taking the characteristics of their head coach and putting it into how they're playing on the field. And Notre Dame is doing the exact same, and that's the difference.
USF leads 23-13. We'll come back and have more as we're in a weather delay in South Bend, Indiana, the second of the day. In fact, we're over 2 hours and a half worth of weather delays today. We've already seen one game canceled at the tail end. The Western Michigan game had some bad weather, and they just called it off after with about 4 minutes left to go, and we're seeing some rain in the South Bend area right now.
Looks like it might be just getting past, so we might be able to get back underway way here soon.
A little bit of a clearing after this band that's going through, and hopefully, again, you only need 4 minutes worth of football, so hopefully you can get this thing done. Let's take a timeout. Bulls on top, 23-13. We'll come back with more. This is the USF IMG Sports Network. And welcome back to our network studios in Tampa. Jim Lighthall, Justin Pawlowski with you as we are currently sitting in a weather delay, but making progress toward finishing the final 4 minutes and 21 seconds of USF and Notre Dame from South Bend, Indiana. Bulls are on top, 23-13. Once again, we've had better than 2.5 hours worth of rain delay and lightning delay in this game. Justin, this game's going to be a wild finish. There's some other games going on around the country that have some wild finishes and really some heavyweight matchups here.
Yeah, we saw Auburn squeak by Utah State earlier today. That was one of the wild finishes. Now we've got some great games on tonight. Primetime football right after USF Notre Dame end. You can stick around, listen to the post game with Jim and I, and then maybe if you buy a television, okay, you can watch that on mute and listen to us. But boy, I'll tell you, Georgia at home against Boise State. First off, the uniforms are, well, Jim, how would you describe the uniforms?
They're aggressive. That's an aggressive look.
Okay, aggressive is good because it's not really positive or negative.
No.
But, Boise State's come back to tie that one. Georgia had the lead early, 7-7. Georgia with Mark Richt, boy, he has been on the hot seat big time. He's got a lot of talent there. They really came out firing. But when you face these types of teams at home, when you face Notre Dame and they're at home, and you face Georgia and they're technically at home in the Georgia Dome, you know they're going to come out with an initial punch. It's kind of being able to take that and then get into the rhythm of the game. USF has done it with Notre Dame. They did it by stripping the ball and taking it back for a touchdown because, boy, Notre Dame came out with a lot of energy early. Georgia got out to a 7-0 lead. Boise State has come back to tie it there. And then, of course, Oregon and LSU in Dallas tonight is another huge matchup. With a lot of implications there in the top 5 with both Oregon and LSU in the top 5. And I don't know. I mean, rankings to me, I think you can wait a few weeks, and find out which teams are actually good. But they like these rankings for television.
Yeah.
And, well, you got your premier matchup with LSU and Oregon tonight.
We'll keep an eye on South Carolina. Some people think they can go undefeated this year, ranked 12th. They're trailing at home to East Carolina in the third quarter. Our score in South Bend, Indiana, USF leading Notre Dame. It is 23-13, 4:21 left to go. We'll get you back up to the Papa John's Pizza press box after these words. This is the USF IMG Sports Network.
Heading toward the big finish, we hope. 4:21 to go, 23-13 USF over Notre Dame down on the field. Mike Pepper, you had an interesting note about what the teams could and could not do during the break.
Yeah, Jim, it was one of those things where they got with the officials. You wonder, what are they doing? Well, maybe they're looking at film. Well, no, that was prohibited, obviously, in the earlier, longer break more so. But even still, right now, they could not go and watch anything that had taken place on video earlier in this game, other than the still photos or something that they might be able to use.
Mark, I would think with Notre Dame down 10 with 4 minutes to go, this latest delay probably makes it tougher for them than for the Bulls, but there's still a lot of time left.
It really is a lot of time left. You got to be cautious here as the Bulls. Hopefully get a couple of those guys back, John Legis and Kayvon Webster, get those guys back on the field because they had cramping at the end of the game.
They're both back, Mark. Good sign.
Out there.
Webster is lined up on the right side close to us around the 20, and Legist is there as well, so both are back. Okay, here we go. Second down and 6 on the 13-yard line for Notre Dame. 23-13 Bulls. Reese in the shotgun, looking to throw, looking, now throws it, and it is incomplete. It's picked off. The Bulls pick it off. USF gets their 5th takeaway of the game at the 30-yard line of Notre Dame, and that will go a long way towards sealing it. Jarrell Young with the INT.
And it really will. Again, they went with the 3-man rush, and they dropped 8. Very difficult to throw. Forced in there by Reese, where he's trying to force it across the middle. Made an errant throw. Interception, Jarrell Young.
So on the first play back, the Bulls get the ball. They've got a 1st and 10 with 4:08 to go on the 30-yard line. It's getting close now. And you know the Bulls are just going to run this thing. Chris Bright is in as a blocking back. Daniels over center, and he will hand it off. It's Demetrius Murray for no gain, but the clock continues to run.
Boy, you know, you remember how fast that Notre Dame came out of the first lightning delay, and they came out this time, and the Bulls, they were ready for them that time. They came out, and defensively, that was just such a huge play by them. And Mark Popek is limping a little bit, and it seems like the trainers are going to come out and take a look at him.
Clock stops with 3:46 to go. Well, defensive coordinator Mark Snyder sure got his turnovers. The Bulls averaged less than 2 per game last year. They have 5 tonight. Popek is going to have to go to the sidelines, and he'll be replaced by Damian Edwards, the redshirt junior. So Edwards in for Popek here with 3:46 to go, and the Bulls with a 2nd and 10 on the 30. 23-13 Bulls. Remember, too, that Notre Dame has only 1 timeout remaining, so the Bulls should be able to take care of a lot of this clock and force Notre Dame into burning that last timeout, even if they don't get a 1st down in this series. 2nd and 10. Daniels will use every second of the play clock. It's down to 2, down to 1. There's the snap. Handoff, Murray. He'll be stacked up and dropped for a loss. It'll be 3rd and long, the tackle for Notre Dame by Keprin Lewis Moore. And it's 3rd and long, and the clock is running with 3:06 to go.
I'm surprised right there that Notre Dame didn't try to use one of their timeouts right there. Obviously, they're the clock under 3 minutes going now, and BJ's taking his time.
3rd and 14 on the 34. Clock is at 2:50. Game is at 15. 23-13 USF. Can the Bulls rack up another one of their great road wins? They're getting close. Daniels hands it off. Running it up the middle is Murray. He'll get a couple to about the 31. That'll get it to 4th down and 11, and Notre Dame will take their last timeout with 2:28 to go.
Notre Dame, that is their last timeout of the half.
So 4th and 11
this
from
will
the
be
31.
A 30-second timeout.
What do you do here, Mark? Do you try to pooch one? Do you run another play just to keep the clock running?
You know, it's going to stop when the change of possession too. So, so running the play is not. I mean, if you're going to take a shot, you can take a shot. You know, I'd punt it and pin them back there. You don't want to give them a short field, whatever you do.
You'd have to kick it straight up to shoot here because the line of scrimmage is the 32. So Notre Dame will be on the road at Michigan, and then they're home for Michigan State in 2 weeks. Of course, the Bulls will be coming home to face Ball State on Saturday night, September 10th. Get your tickets. Seasons at 1-800-GO-BULLS. Individuals at GoUSFBulls.com or Ticketmaster.com. Brockhouse Khan in to kick with 2:28 to go. Riddick is back, standing at the Notre Dame 8. And the Bulls with some personnel problems again as Tabutu comes in at the last minute. Now they're set. There's time on the play clock, but of course the game clock is not running after the timeout. Good snap. Rush coming. He gets it away. High short kick, just what the Bulls wanted. They do not call for the fair catch. The ball hits down at the 2, and the Bulls will down it there with 2:19 to go. Notre Dame has 98 yards to go. And actually, they have 99 to go. They mark it on the 1.
Boy, Brockhouse Khan, I tell you, that's another splendid kick right there, and he puts it in there, and they down it. And again, now you keep everything in front of you. No timeouts. You keep them in bounds. I mean, there's a whole different coverage. You can run a shell coverage where you can have 3 deep zone. They can line up 12, 15 yards deep. You just can't let anybody get behind you.
And you don't want any funny stuff out there because Notre Dame will probably be very deep into the playbook right now. They've got nothing to lose. First and 10 on their own 1-yard line. 2:19 to go. Rolling to the right. Reese looking to throw. Incomplete at the 5-yard line, but a flag coming down, and this may be interference on Sam Barrington.
Pass interference. Defense number 36. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah. So that will give them a couple of yards out to the 5. It's first down. 2:15 to go.
And again, you let that short stuff happen. You really want them to catch that and tackle them. I mean, because you tackle them right there, then the clock keeps rolling. So, and keeping them in bounds. Sam needs to work on that a little bit.
Yeah, Bulls want to try to protect the sidelines a little bit. Reese in the shotgun looking to throw out of the end zone. He is sacked. Let's see where the ball is. It's loose, and it looks like Notre Dame has it at about the 2. So Notre Dame maintains control. Claude Davis with the sack. And the ball back at the 2-yard line with 1:58 to go.
Now you want to look at that one again. Looked like he was sacked in the end zone and then thrown out of the end zone.
Let's just let the clock run. 1:48 to go.
I want the sack. You know, I'm a defensive guy.
2nd and 13 on the Notre Dame 2. Reese in the shotgun looking to throw. Fires it near sideline, and it is Jones going up and making a terrific catch despite a big hit from Legist at the 25. That's a first down Notre Dame, 1:35 to go. That was a heck of a catch. So Notre Dame on the 25-yard line, first and 10, 23-13 USF. Reese to throw. A lot of times, short one, it's knocked away from the tight end at the 30-yard line. It'll be incomplete. Trying to get it to Eilert, and it looked like Clyett with a play for the Bulls defensively.
Yeah, Clyett closed on that one real well, and again knocked it away. And you know, it was another short gain. Yeah, I think you start looking at tackling those guys. Let them catch those little short ones. They're going to throw it inside the field like that with no timeouts. The clock's going to kill them.
2nd and 10 on the Notre Dame 25. Reese. Pump fake, now throws. He's got Jones, who's trying to get to the sideline, and he will get there, but he didn't get much yardage, only a yard or 2. It'll set up a 3rd down and long. That is the 28th throw of the second half for Reese, and it looks like Jones is hurt along the near sideline.
Yeah, he's still hurt. He's off the field, though, so I'm not sure if they're going to continue play because he is off the field or not.
Right by the Notre Dame sideline, and it looks like they are going to continue. 1:27 to go, 3rd and 9 on the 26-yard line.
And again, you got to look for Floyd. I think he moved on the inside. Now he's an inside receiver right now, and you got to get 2 guys on him.
5 wide. Reese will throw. Pressure coming. Throws it short to the tight end, Eilert, and the Bulls submarine him and keep him in bounds. They will stop the clock momentarily because it's a first down. Washington on the tackle, 1:20 to go. Ball on the 38-yard line of Notre Dame. Now the clock starts again, 1:15 and counting. Reese back to pass. Scrambling, throws near side, juggled and caught by the running back Wood. He's out of bounds at the 46 of Notre Dame. It'll be 2nd down at about 3, 1:06 to go.
Again, if you can get one of those guys down in the field of play behind the first down, I mean, that you're going to get valuable time ticked off the clock.
23-13 Bulls. Reese getting ready to throw again. His numbers 20 of 29, 247 yards, and he didn't play in the first half. Here comes Davis on a blitz, but he gets rid of it. It's the tight end. It's caught. It's Eiler, and he's going to be down to about the 36 of the Bulls. That's a first down. Clock stopped for the Chains with exactly a minute to go. This isn't over yet.
No, it's not. That's exactly right. And the clock will start running now. It's down to 50 seconds.
1st and 10 on the Bulls 36. Reese to throw. He's got a man open, and Riddick cannot pull it in at the 15. It was a little behind him, but it was catchable, and that would have gotten them inside the Bulls' 15-yard line.
Yeah, and Riddick's had a couple of drops, and he muffed the punt there and lost one of the punts at a time, and he's one of their top players, and those are the plays they expect him to make.
2nd down and 10. 46 seconds to go. 23-13 Bulls. Trying to win what would be their first ever road opener. They're 10-4 in openers, 10-0 at home, 0-4 on the road. They're 46 seconds away. Here's Reese. And he's under pressure, but the Bulls may have jumped. He's sacked back at the 42, but it looked like Davis got in early on the left side.
Yeah, he did get in early, but
offside, defense number 90, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Last thing you want, stops the clock, moves them up 5.
Yeah, that is true. And, it looks like there was an interior guy. It looked like the right guard moved at the same time, but because Davis got such a good jump, they're going to normally flag him coming from the outside.
2nd and 5 on the 31, 42 seconds to go. Bulls leading 23-13. 3 wide receivers, 1 to the left. Reese in the shotgun. He's got the football, straight drop, looking, now throws over the middle. It is caught. Eilert will be knocked down by Linares at about the 17. And we may have a late hit on the quarterback as well. A flag is down.
Foul, roughing the passer, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Looks like they got Ryan Giddens, and that's going to put Notre Dame well downfield with 35 seconds to go. They'll be inside the 10. Wow. With the specter of an onside kick, if they get this thing in the end zone, we're not done yet.
I'm going to be winding the clock here.
35 seconds to go. The ball will be placed on the 8-yard line. So 1st and goal for Notre Dame on the 8. Bulls trying to get rid of 35 remaining seconds. Clock is running. Reese getting his team set. 28, 27, 26. Now Reese has the football, airs it out left side. It's Floyd. It's caught. Touchdown. It's 23-19 with 21 seconds to go. Well, they'll go for 1 here to make it a 3-point game.
Yeah, and a well-thrown ball. Surprised they didn't double. They doubled Floyd throughout most of that drive there, and then they go to single coverage outside. Gave him plenty of room. He did just a quick slant route and used his big body and got the touchdown.
So here's a big extra point here to try to make it a 3-point game. High snap. They pull it down, and the kick is good. So it's 23-20 USF with 21 seconds to go. Get the hands team ready.
And you don't want it to come down to this. A lot of players get nervous. You get in there, you try to put your receivers in there, your running backs, guys who are accustomed to handling the ball. But if you get a good onside kick there and they get some guys beaming down on you, it's a nerve-wracking point. I was on a hand seam one time.
Reese has thrown for 296 yards. Notre Dame now has 508 yards of offense, and Floyd with 12 catches. So it's 23-20. And it all comes down to the onside kick. Notre Dame has no timeouts left. The Bulls have 2. But it's a done deal if the Bulls can just recover the onside kick.
Remember, that was a 99-yard drive if you think about it. I mean, it was great punt, great special teams play.
And done with no timeouts.
Yeah, no timeouts. And again, that's why, a lot of those plays, the Bulls, you work on those 2-minute situations, trying to keep people in bounds, not allowing them, when they catch those little short ones, let them catch them, just tackle them. And they'll learn these things as early in the season.
Evan Landy on the front line. Some big guys, too. Barrington and Linares are up along the front line. Mike June is up there. So this really isn't the traditional hands team.
Well, these guys are going to
Lattimore as well.
A lot of those guys will normally block, and then
here's the kick. Off the hands of the Bulls and taken by USF. Lindsey Lamar got it on the carom. It was a great kick. It banged off Evan Landy's hands, and the Bulls were very close to not getting the football there before Lindsey Lamar ran in at full speed and picked it out of the air.
Boy, I mean, that's a superb play by Lindsey Lamar, because normally when they kick the ball that hard, you're supposed to let it go if you're the first line of defense, and then you let it go to your second line. Instead, it got a nice bounce, but Lindsey heads up play and grabbed it, all 160 pounds of them.
So Notre Dame cannot stop the clock. 19 seconds left. The Bulls just want to take a knee here and get out of here with a win. Tight formation. Daniels will take the snap, put the knee down, and the Bulls do it again. West Virginia, Auburn, North Carolina, North Carolina State, Florida State, Miami, add another one. Notre Dame on the road. Bulls win 23-20. So USF wins their first ever road opener in dramatic fashion after 2 long rain and weather delays. They are a winner today over the Fighting Irish, the number 16 team in the nation. And Mark, they really toughed it out with the conditions and came up with a huge win.
It really was. I mean, that's a total team effort there, and Coach has to be proud of his guys through all the weather delays and the situations out on the field. Really, they rallied around their quarterback, B.J. Daniels, playing well, and they came up with the plays they needed to win this football game.
What a moment for Skip Holtz. 23-20 the final. The Bulls win it. We'll continue from South Bend. Real quick, let's get to the field. Mike's got Jarrell Young.
Hey, Jarrell Young down here on the field. Jarrell, obviously, Florida State, Miami, now Notre Dame the last 3 years. How's it feel today?
It felt good. It felt good to get this win for Coach Holtz. I know he really wanted it coming back home, and it's a big milestone for our program. But this game is over with now, and this game, whether we won it or lost it really didn't matter, because if we lose all our non-conference games and win all the Big East championship, or Big East games, we'll win the conference. So we're glad we got this win for the program.
You were on the big defensive end of 2 plays, the strip, talk about that, and then the interception at the end that kind of helped run out the clock.
Well, on the strip, I had a hole and it bounced right to me, and I hit him, and then my teammate holding him up, and I just poured the ball and just came out.
And obviously the interception, what'd you see on that last play over there in the middle in the fourth quarter after coming back to that rain delay?
Well, I give all credit to my defensive line. They got a good rush on the play. And it just so happened I just came through, and I just happened to, Michael Lanier missed the interception. Well, he missed the ball, and it came right to me.
Jarrell, go with your teammates. Thanks. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Love y'all.
You got it. That's Jarrell Young. Guys, back up to you.
All right, we'll take a timeout. Be back with more interviews here from South Bend. 23-20, the Bulls win it on the USF IMG Sports Network.
Old Dominion Freight Line is your transportation and logistic leader. Whether you are shipping domestically or around the globe, an OD team member can help you manage all of your shipping needs. Visit our website at www.odfl.com to learn more about OD and some of our specialty product offerings, like security divider and white glove services. For more than 75 years, we've done more than deliver freight. We've helped the world keep promises. OD is a proud supporter of the Bulls and the official transportation provider of USF football.
Everybody has their best friends, but who's got the best friends? I'm talking about Band of Buds, the search to find the best crew of friends in the country. We're sending 25 crews to Las Vegas for a shot at $100,000. So make a beeline to bandofbuds.com. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Enjoy responsibly. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Open to U.S. residents except California, 21 years or older. Contest ends on or before 12/31/2011. To enter and for official rules, visit www.bandofbuds.com. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
More Bulls football after this timeout for your local station. You're listening to the USF IMG Sports Network.